Yes. Thanks. Yeah, I mean, it's such a how are you? Good. It's such a my long-term thing. I've been building this thing for a while. We started with just like a GoPro, and the audio was pretty bad. And we actually at the restaurant.
I didn't even know GoPros do audio.
Yeah, well, the audio was really bad, and actually we have karaoke nights here, right? So actually we just basically started just using the karaoke mics and kind of grew from there. So yeah, this is like passion project, been going for a little while. So thank you for coming. Appreciate it. Yeah.
Of course.
So maybe you can introduce yourself before, just in case. Yeah.
Sure.
I mean, if somebody says, who is the Esther Chen?
Well, who do you think?
Say? I mean, you're a stand-up comedian, right? I mean, I've heard amazing things about you. I had a lot of people ask. They're like, oh, you got to try to get the Esther Chen. I'm like, okay, true. And I messaged you, and you came out, and I was like, cool. But I actually went to the comedy club because a friend of mine, Matt is he surprised us all saying he was leaving, and he's like, you got to come out this Friday. I'm like, I can't
is he
come
leaving
out.
Taiwan?
Yeah,
No.
like
He's
leaving.
Taiwan.
Yeah, it was a big surprise, right?
Oh, wow.
He kind of told us, I'm going back, and I'm like, okay, cool. When are you coming back? He's like, I'm going
where is
back
he
to
from?
San Diego. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, so we went out, and I finally got to check out the club, and it was pretty cool. It was pretty good. I think it's the first bilingual club, right? Like comedy club. Do you get to do a lot of the club scene? I think so, right?
Well, there's really two main clubs in Taipei.
Okay.
Or Taiwan, I guess. There's a few venues down south. In Taipei, there's two major ones.
Okay.
One of them happens to do English. So.
Okay.
I guess you could frame it as the only bilingual club.
Okay. Oh, it's the only one. So it's the best then by default, right? Yeah.
I guess.
Yeah,
you can say
Okay.
the best live show in the world by default because of Corona.
Okay. Oh, that's true. How you started your your stand-up career in New York, right?
Mm-hmm.
In the States. Maybe you could talk a little about that. I actually got some pictures saved up here. We'll boot up some pictures and
Oh my
pretty
God.
cool. Yeah, it's cool. I got
Are these pictures of me?
Yeah, of course.
From
Let's see what we got here.
Oh,
we got
dear Jesus.
Oh yeah, it's gonna be good. Let's try this one. So we'll boot that guy up there. Yeah.
Okay.
Maybe you
this
could talk.
is from. I was like a series regular.
Yeah, that's cool.
For a show that got into Series Fest, which is so cool. Series Fest is so cool. It's out in Denver, Colorado, and that's my friend Itan. He's now a Broadway star.
The guy with the mic, or
the guy with the mic? Yeah,
Okay.
He's a Broadway star now.
Okay,
Mhm.
that's pretty cool.
Yeah,
Excellent.
but he was interviewing for them at the time. Series Fest is really cool. It's kind of like the new Sundance.
Okay.
Yeah, because
Very
Sundance
cool.
has gotten so non-indie anymore. It's
Okay,
sort of
okay,
like
okay,
popularized. So I think Series Fest is kind of like
Okay.
doing what Sundance once was doing out in Utah, out in Park
That's cool.
Yeah.
Okay.
City.
Very cool. Very cool.
Yeah, and that's our director of photography. Which, like, every time I go on Facebook, I'm like, I'm looking for a DP, and everyone's like, oh, you're looking for a DP. But that's our director of photography.
Okay.
DP.
So when did you come back to Taiwan from New York? I mean,
This March.
this March. Okay. And was it because of the COVID? Is that what brought you back?
Yeah. I mean,
okay.
I got back way before it exploded.
Okay.
Because I had
okay.
a pretty good hunch.
You had a, okay. Well, now I'm curious. I guess it started kind of in New York, right? The
Corona?
I mean, not started obviously, but like it exploded there, kind of at the beginning of the whole USA.
I think the first
thing.
case was out in the West Coast.
Okay.
The
Really?
second
Okay.
Yeah, it started in the West Coast.
Okay.
We heard a lot about, I think, people getting it, but no one was doing anything about it.
Okay.
And then New York got our first case on March 1st.
Okay.
In Westchester. And
I've seen so many stories about like horror stories about that. It's so scary. Yeah.
What kind of horror stories?
Do you know? Obviously, do you watch? I don't know, Joe Rogan. Do you watch Joe Rogan?
Not a lot.
Not a lot. So I had
not the way my friends do.
Everybody loves Joe Rogan, right? So basically, I saw he was interviewing a guy, and he was kind of among the first that went to the hospital for it, and he
was
said,
it the first guy in New York that got it?
Maybe
the Jewish man.
I don't remember his name.
Okay.
Yeah. But I just remember the story that he was saying that he was one of the first, and not many people knew what it was, and there was just people dying and
Yeah.
going on these the respirators and stuff like that, and it was kind of crazy, kind of a scary situation. Yeah,
For sure.
Yeah.
I think by April, I actually did the series of interviews just for fun.
Okay.
I interviewed 20 of my friends who I knew got corona.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Already
okay.
by April, I knew 20 people, and these were people that were comfortable sharing the fact that they actually got it. Like a lot of people got it and they felt
And they don't want to
shame.
share.
Exactly.
Okay,
They didn't want
sure.
people to like freak out.
Okay.
But these were the 20 people out of my people that I worked with that were like comfortable saying it out loud.
Okay.
Yeah. And
It's kind of scary, right? I mean,
the crazy thing is like out of the 20 people that I interviewed, only 2 of them were able to get their hands on tests at the time. One
Really?
of them worked in a hospital as a nutritionist. And so
Okay.
not even like, someone who was working in ER or like at the front line at the time.
okay.
The other person, I can't remember how they got it, but everyone, like 18 of these people were like almost like 200% sure that they got it. They went to the hospitals and like people turned them down and they're like, you're young enough, like you're not like 60 or above, or you're not overweight, or so then they were all sent home.
From what I hear, like, if you're older and kind of out of shape, overweight, it's a little more dangerous, right?
Yeah, actually last
okay.
week, my mentor and comic friend passed away from it.
Oh, really? Oh my gosh.
So
I'm
that's
sorry to hear that. That's
the first person. I mean, it's very surreal because I'm not there, so it's hard to really understand that he's gone, because like with social media, it's like you obviously don't see the person, but you see like their Facebook posts.
Yeah,
so it's like, well, of
posts
course
and
they're
stuff.
alive, and like someone just wrote like his sister was like he passed, and like it's just I don't believe it's true. Yeah,
I actually had a friend pass recently, and my aunt passed recently, and it's the same kind of thing, because
was it also due to
a friend. No, it wasn't. It wasn't due to COVID, but I have a friend here. He's a good friend. Had him for a while, and he was a little bit sick. He had some health issues, but he was sick for a while. But he's seemed no problem, and then all of a sudden, he called me up, and they're like, so next Monday. Actually, this past Monday was a funeral, and it's kind of crazy, because the guy would come in. The same thing with social media, and we go out for coffees and stuff.
Yeah.
It's kind of crazy. It's kind of crazy how that works. But yeah.
I also remember he caught COVID and he told people, and I was like, oh, get well soon. But I didn't think much about it. It's like, who doesn't have COVID now, honestly?
Yeah,
it's like,
that's
of
rough.
course,
Yeah.
of course, all of my friends have COVID, and like,
Okay.
some of them say it, some of them don't, but whatever.
Uh-huh.
I was like, oh, get well soon and get over it. And then the next day I know he's gone, which is
Okay.
like,
That's crazy.
he even
Yeah,
like responded to my comment, which was only like not long ago. So it doesn't
Oh my
feel
gosh.
like
Okay.
very, very strange, surreal.
So you were born here? Yeah? Or were you
I was
there,
born
or-
in Los Angeles.
Okay. And your parents are from here, right?
I've
Or
never
everyone?
lived in Los Angeles because
Okay.
we got our passport and we're like, all right, mission accomplished.
Okay, beautiful. I like that. Okay,
Yeah.
okay. All right, we got some fish tacos. You're saying you
I'm
like
so
fish
excited.
tacos, right?
I love
all
fish
right. Yeah, all
tacos.
right, good. Well, ours are pretty
I
solid,
always
I
get
think.
fish tacos at the food truck.
All right, cool. So no LA food trucks then? Where are the food trucks that you go to?
I've never lived in LA, so I wouldn't
Okay,
know.
okay.
But where do I get my fish tacos?
Uh-huh.
Brooklyn, I think.
Okay. So is there a lot of like taco trucks in New York, or is there? Okay.
Yeah,
that's cool.
lots
Okay,
of
I
food
got
trucks
it.
in New York.
Okay,
For
cool,
sure.
cool.
For
yeah.
sure.
So you moved to New York, or when did you go?
I went
to
there
New
for
York?
school.
Okay. And you started your stand-up career there. Yeah. So what caused you to do that? You're always like wanting to try something like that, or what?
No,
what was
I've
it?
never
Yeah?
watched comedy
Okay.
until my actual first comedy show.
Okay.
My first comedy show that I did was the first one I watched, which is very strange.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
And you just something clicked, and you're like, I want to do this, or how did that work out?
I saw a friend of mine
Uh-huh.
who tried it.
And they did well. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if that's why I wanted to do it though.
Okay.
I think I was struggling with my career as an actor, and
Okay.
people were always
so
like,
you were
"You're
acting before. Okay.
Yeah, they were like, "You'll never be funny."
Oh wow. Okay. That's not very nice. Yeah. Okay.
Well, it is the industry.
That's the way it is, I guess, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. All right. And so, did that spark something in you that are like, I'm gonna make this happen, or?
No, I felt like I was gonna give it a try,
Okay.
and then once I started doing stand up for a while, like that's all I got sent into. Like most of the stuff I got to do were like comedies from then
Okay.
on.
So you started acting first, yeah, and then you had a chance to do some stand up, and you're like, let's try it out.
Yeah.
And from day one, you were like, yes, I'm hooked. When you're on the stage with the mic,
I don't know if I was hooked. It was just
No?
like a thing that I got
you're
to
just
do.
like, yeah, this is cool. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
It doesn't hurt.
Doesn't hurt. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. Okay. Cool. Well, you want to try your fish taco?
Yeah.
Yeah. Get in there. So we got salsas here if you want.
I'm very excited.
Nothing is really spicy, so enjoy. Yeah. I'm gonna take a bite of mine too, if cool. Yeah.
How do you like doing a restaurant business in Taipei? I know it's like really stressful.
So my story is, we've been doing it for about 15 years. How is
It's
it?
so good.
Is it good? Yeah. All right. Our corn tortillas actually we use.
The fish is so thick.
Yeah.
It sounds so dirty when I say that.
There we
The fish
go.
is so thick.
We actually, we this is one of our more popular tacos, and the actual corn tortilla, we actually use local Taiwanese organic corn from a farm. They dry it for us and they send it to us, and we do the whole like old Aztec process where you kind of do the overnight soak and the grind and all that stuff. So the corn tortillas are pretty. I mean, I have to say they're pretty awesome. I mean, you don't usually get them like that unless you're like in a farm on Mexico, because even back home, everybody's using the flour, which is all right
Corn
too,
flour,
like
yeah.
corn flour, yeah. But we actually are
It's
using
just- it's drier.
corn. It's drier for sure, yeah. Yeah, so this is like pure corn, which is pretty awesome, I think. Yeah. So the restaurant business is obviously it's pretty tough. We started about 15 years ago. We started with a stand in a night market.
Oh, wow.
We did that just to test.
What's night market?
Danshui, Danshui Lao Jie. Yeah, so Danshui Lao Jie, we started over there because we lived out there. I was coaching soccer out there, and I thought let's try it out. Let's try
Wait,
something
so you
good.
came to Taiwan to coach soccer?
I did. I was coaching soccer, and then of course I was teaching some English, which is kind of like the default, I think, which is pretty good. I mean, the funny thing is I've been coaching soccer for most of my life, and I think I'm pretty good with kids. So, if someone was like, hey, you want to teach some English too? I was like, all right, cool. So I did it, and it's pretty fun. I'm pretty easy. I mean, I could have done that for a long time, but eventually got married, and my wife didn't really like her teaching job. So I said, well, what do you want to do?
Was she an English teacher as
She
well?
was teaching too, yeah. And she said, well, let's do a coffee shop. And I said, well, that's kind of tough because first, there's a million of them here. And second, I don't really like coffee. So you know what I mean? I can't be that
You're
really...
not passionate about it.
Yeah, you can't really be that
yeah.
fake, hey, we do, we import our beans from blah, blah, blah. Enjoy, I don't drink it because I don't like coffee, but you should drink it. So I told her that's going to be tough because I can't really live a lie, right? So I told her, my family's Mexican, and I said, let's try some of this.
I thought you were Canadian.
Yeah, I'm Canadian, but
they're Mexican.
First generation. Yeah, so I was born. I'm the first one born in Canada.
Nice.
So my parents immigrated to Canada from Mexico.
Why from
and-
Mexico to Canada?
My dad got a job. So actually, my aunt, who just passed away, she met a guy, a Canadian guy in Mexico. I mean, way back, and they hit it off. They got married. He brought her to Canada, and she called my dad, his older sister. Yeah, he called her up, and she said, "Hey, this is a pretty cool place. You come and check it out. There's jobs. I mean, this was a long time ago when they're just like giving jobs and visas and stuff.
The good old days.
The good old days, right? So my dad was, I think, like 18, and my mom was like maybe 16. My sister was just born. I hadn't been born yet. So my dad went up. He said, "This is great." He was making pretty good money working in an aluminum smelter in Kitimat.
Aluminum smelter.
They make aluminum.
I guess you do need to smelt aluminum.
Yeah. I get. I mean,
So things I would never have to think about.
yeah. Well, it's because my town is really small, and that's kind of the industry there. So they went there and loved it. The pay was really good, and so they're like, "All right, let's move them up." And so they moved up my mom and my sister, and then I was born there. Yeah. But yeah, my family's originally from Mexico. Yeah.
Do you guys visit often?
We would go every year, almost every year. Try to go every summer. So
You have
Mexico's
relatives
amazing.
there, right?
Oh yeah, Mexican families are huge. They're just like, it's funny. Sometimes you go to a party, and it's like dozens of people you don't know, and it's like it's all your cousins and it's all your aunts and uncles, and it's crazy. Yeah. So Mexican families are pretty big. They're pretty big. Yeah. So it's good. Mexico's it's been good. It's been a good part of my life. I didn't think I'd really use any of those skills, but when I came out here, my wife said, coffee shop. I said, let's sell burritos at a stand or something like that, just to see
quite
if
a couple of them now in Taipei.
Yeah. There's a few of them.
Yeah,
it's a trend for sure now. There's, I would say, I don't know, 5-ish maybe. I don't know. There was none for so long.
Yeah, I know, because I grew up here and I've never.
Yeah, so it's growing, but
I've never seen a quesadilla until I was like 19.
Really? Okay.
I think my first quesadilla was 19.
Okay.
I don't think I accepted tacos until I was 25.
Oh, really? You didn't try a good one, maybe.
Quesadillas are easier to accept because it's like
quesadillas is basically.
It feels more
yeah.
generic American. Like
quesadilla is basically like a grilled cheese sandwich,
right? With some chicken and
it's basically that. Yeah, so it's pretty. Actually, we sell those. They're pretty big sellers and stuff. Yeah.
Quesadillas.
Yeah, for sure. Especially for the kids, right? Kids love those, right? It's like
cheese.
Like I said, it's like a grilled cheese sandwich.
I mean, I didn't even like cheese until college.
Really? Okay.
I remember I was fed pizza when I was 4, and I hated it.
You hated pizza?
I was like, ugh, this is so gross.
Pizza? Wow.
Yeah, no, I refused to eat
So what did you grow up eating then? Like Taiwanese food?
I grew up remembering I just hated food.
Okay,
I just didn't like eating. It was like not a thing. And then I hit like middle school and they're like, you can stop eating this much.
Okay.
But I clearly remember I was like an anorexic kid. I just preferred playing over eating. Also, now that I'm older, it's really not myself to blame. Like my parents aren't good cooks. Even now I'm just like, I can't.
That makes sense. Okay.
We just cook in a way that's so not. It's specific in a weird way. Style? No, it's like country to a point that's specific to my dad's family that no other families would accept. So I'm gonna give you an example.
All right, let's
we probably have curry like once every 5 days.
Okay.
I would say Japanese curry.
Okay, Japanese.
Once every 5 days.
Okay.
But the meat that we used to cook would have more bones than flesh.
Okay.
So when you're eating curry, you're used to like having chicken chunks, right? Like you usually don't have bones in it, but like ours have more bones than chicken, so you're essentially eating sauce and skin and bones. And I don't like skin, so I had to constantly peel it. So by the like
you don't like chicken skin, really?
No. Okay, after like a long time of like processing the food in front of you, like you actually get to eat very little of it.
Okay.
So like I'd spend like 15 minutes peeling and
it's like some of those Taiwanese fruit when you're like sitting there peeling and then there's like layers and layers and layers.
Yeah, I don't mind that because like once you peel it open, you eat all the flesh.
Okay.
With,
it's good though. I enjoy it. I love it here. Yeah.
But with like, so that's like one example.
Okay.
But it's very specific and odd to my family.
Okay. So what food do you like? What do you like then? What kind of food do you like?
As a kid?
Yeah, as a kid.
I didn't eat much as a kid.
Okay.
No.
You just rather play.
Yeah.
My daughter is 8 and she loves food. I mean, she grew up in a restaurant, so she loves Mexican food. She loves she loves Indian food. She likes like spicy, like she loves raw onions. Like she would snack on like raw onions. She'd sit there with a little bowl of raw onions and she would just
wouldn't cry?
No, she loves them. Until now, she still loves them. And it's funny because other little kids would come and join her, and they'd be like, "Well, what's that?" And she's like, "Well, it's delicious. You should try it out." And she would just start popping raw onions, and then give it to other kids, and then they would start screaming and crying, and they're like, "Oh!" And people are like, "What's wrong with you?" Funny. I'm like, "My daughter likes onions."
That's so funny.
Yeah, my daughter likes onions. So still now to this day, she just loves raw onions.
That's a good kid.
Yeah. So anytime we go to any kind of like Indian restaurant or something that they know us, they'll just put like a bowl of raw onions or a bowl of pickled onions there, and just kind of like she just kind of like pops away. It's like her appetizer, popping away at those onions. Yeah, she loves it. Yeah. But
she's a good kid.
She's also really a skinny kid, and she loves to play. Like if she's playing, if it's a day of play, she can skip the whole day. Like she just won't eat. She just won't eat. She'll just be like, I'll be like, you gotta.
Like no time for that.
You need to sit down and you need to eat. And she's like, not hungry. I'm like, no, you got to eat. And she's like, not hungry. And then she'll get to like the end of the day, get ready for bed, and then I'm like, okay,
I'm starving.
Yeah, she'll be like, now I'm hungry. Yeah. Yeah. Fish tacos are all right. Yeah.
Yeah, mine's coming apart a little bit. I'm gonna
Yeah.
have
Well,
to
it's the batter.
fork
Yeah.
and
It's like
knife
a
it
little.
a little bit.
Yeah. Do you want a fork? Is there a fork?
I do,
and
I
knife?
do.
There is. Okay. Good. Good.
It's well
All
prepared
right.
here.
All right.
15 years in Taiwan's a long time.
Yes. Oh my gosh, I've been here for 18, to be honest. Yeah,
Wow.
yeah, it's a really long time. Planned on coming just for a couple years, and I like it. I mean, it's a good place. Where I live back home, it's a really small town, and yeah, there's not that much going on job wise and stuff. So mostly people will go to Vancouver, but I don't know. Not that there's anything wrong with Vancouver, but I thought I'm going to come out here, check it out,
The
and I
newest
like
Chinese
it.
city.
Yeah, exactly, right? So actually, I prefer here to Vancouver, like a million to one. Yeah, I don't know. Vancouver's okay, but I was just never really a big fan of it. And now I'm here, and I love it. Didn't plan on staying for so long, but now it's home. I think. I mean, I feel more at home here than back home.
It's always so
actually.
fascinating to me.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. What's that? That people feel at home here, or?
I think Taiwan has like a little bit of trouble like attracting foreigners because
Oh, for sure. Yeah, yeah,
it's like, well, if your goal, first of all, you never hear about it.
yeah. Exactly. Yeah. Hey, what's up,
Hello.
brother? You know Philip?
No, I don't.
No, you don't. Okay.
I was like,
Hey,
I don't
what's
know
up?
why I said.
Okay. Cool. No problem. Keep going. Sorry. Yeah.
Like if you want to learn Chinese, people don't think about us. If you
Okay.
appreciate Chinese culture, they don't think about us. Yeah, I'm always curious. Like, usually I feel like a lot of people that I know, they're like, oh, I came here for vacation from Shanghai or from Beijing. And then when I got here, I was like, I love it. It's usually how it happens.
Okay.
Yeah.
I've actually never been to China.
Oh, really?
I plan on going sometimes, but the problem is, how can I say it? I only hear bad things about it,
Oh.
and I'm pretty busy,
Yeah.
so I don't get that many breaks. Right, so like we've been to Japan and Korea and Thailand. I mean, this is over a span of a really long time, and China is definitely on the list, and I want to check it out. And the Mandarin is okay, so I figured it'd be cool to check it out. But I don't know. Every time I talk to people, they're just like, yeah, it's always bad, and I just feel it can't be that bad, can it? But I don't know. So I mean, like I work a lot, and I don't really get a chance to go out and travel. So went to Okinawa last year. That was pretty good. But yeah, I don't know. Have you been?
How is Okinawa? Is it like Taiwan?
It's really
Beachy?
it's similar. It's kind of beachy, but kind
Yeah.
of like chill. It's kind of like a small.
Relaxed.
I don't know. It feels like a big sort of a beach town.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool.
Kending.
It was pretty good. Yeah, Kending's great. I love Kending. Yeah, Kending actually reminds me of Mexico.
Oh, does it?
Yeah, it reminds me of Mexico because you go down. I mean, we went to a bed and breakfast in Kending, and go down, you get your breakfast, and you order something. The guy's he's reading his newspaper, and you're like, oh, can I order? And he's like, yeah, sure. And he keeps reading his paper for
Flips a
another
page.
few minutes. Yeah, it's like, yeah, sure, no problem. And I'm like, okay. We're just kind of sitting there waiting, and then he comes over, takes our order, and we're like, okay, cool. Takes our order. I don't know what it was, bacon, eggs, whatever. I can't remember what it was. And he goes back. Doesn't go to the kitchen or anything. He goes and sits down, keeps reading his
Feeds the dog.
newspaper. Yeah, exactly, right? So just like, okay, we're just, yeah. So that reminds me of Mexico, where everything is just kind of like mañana time. Everybody's just chilling. So it's a pretty cool place to unwind. I enjoy it. Yeah.
The last time I was in Kending, I was 12.
Okay.
For elementary school here,
Okay.
they always have like a graduation trip.
Oh yeah, sure. Yeah.
So that was like a big thing when I was a kid. For graduation, we went to Kending.
Okay. And how
I'm sure
was
now
it?
the kids. I'm sure now the kids go like abroad to Japan.
I mean, I think it depends which school, right? I mean,
I guess I was
yeah.
I was a local school.
Yeah.
So that's what we did.
So my kid ain't going abroad. She's yeah. No, actually, she goes to just a local school down the street. She
Oh,
loves
there?
it. Yeah. She goes to close to our house, a local school.
Mm-hmm.
She likes it. I mean, well, as much as anyone can like school, right? There's a lot
hated
of
school.
homework.
There's a lot of
so
homework.
much homework. I
That's
think
true.
grade 1 and grade 2 were good.
Oh no, grade 1
Yeah.
and grade 2 had so much homework.
Yeah, really.
I would write homework until 10:30, and I still couldn't finish.
Really? Yeah. I mean,
My mom had to write me a note. She
I
couldn't
didn't
finish her
it.
homework.
Yeah. Oh, that's cool. Like for me, my daughter, in grade 1, grade 2, she had a pretty chill teacher. There wasn't very much homework. And then she went into grade 3, and this grade 3 teacher is like just loads of homework, and she's just like, it actually bums her out. She's like, "Oh, I got so much homework," and I'm like, "Yeah, you shouldn't be bummed out. You're a kid. That sucks, you know." Yeah, it's
all
a bummer.
Of my whole career.
That sucks, right?
Being a Taiwanese kid.
Yeah, so I
don't ever remember having fun in school, honestly.
that sucks. Oh my gosh, yeah.
Well, back in the days,
Well, actually, I don't. If I talk to her about it, I don't think that much has changed. I ask her how was school. She's like, "Nah." I'm like, "What'd you learn?" "Nothing." "Do you have any homework?" She's like, "Yeah, of course. I got lots of homework."
Nothing?
Yeah, that's what she says, right? Because kids just say that, but it's mostly just
detail.
Like repeating. Joe, can you close the door? Yeah, thanks. Yeah, so basically, it's loud and sorry, it's She said that you just sit there. Mm-hmm. You don't get to do anything.
No, you don't. You don't speak up.
Kindergarten. When I taught kindergarten, was fun, and when I put her in kindergarten, she was like, it was a Taiwanese kindergarten. She was kind of like, didn't really like it. And I said, grade 1's gonna be great. You're gonna meet friends and this and that. And then I dropped her off for the first day of grade 1. And when I picked her up, I'm like, "How was school?" And she's like, "I think you lied," because I just sat there and my dad, the teacher was just telling us, do this, do this, do this. And we weren't allowed to talk. We weren't allowed to move. We weren't allowed to do anything. And I was like,
that's pretty accurate.
Yeah, that sounds like school. Sorry. And she's just like,
no.
Yeah, only like 12, 13 more years of that. So, and then college, right? Sorry.
It only gets worse though.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, like I was saying,
middle school's terrible.
Grade 3. That's when they take away the BPMF. They take that away in grade 3.
Oh yeah.
So now it's like, she's got a lot of homework and it's a bit tough. Yeah.
It's stressful.
So do you find any differences doing sort of stand-up comedy here and in the States? Because it's pretty new here, right? Newish, or
I mean, I have to work with a different mentality and a different audience.
Okay.
Their appreciation for comedy is very different.
Okay.
It sort of forces me to.
Like in the States, they have hecklers, I bet, right?
Oh no, there's definitely more hecklers here.
There's more hecklers here, really?
Because they don't know that you're not supposed to speak up, so they do.
Oh, really?
Actually, no, I take that back. A lot of my hecklers are foreigners who feel the need to tell me something while I'm on stage.
Okay. Do you have a message for them? Any of those guys? Yeah.
No, I usually I try not to attack them too hard on stage. Because, in New York, I could totally go after them for speaking up, because everybody knows for a comedy show, you're not supposed to heckle, and if you do, you're sort of asking for it in some sense.
Yeah, I think that's...
But you can't really do that in Taiwan, because if you yell at them, they freak out.
Do they really? Okay.
Yeah, it's like, "Oh,
if it's
she's so mean,
really? Or
yeah. She's just... And it's a different mentality, it's a different culture, so you have to adjust to that.
So you did a roast battle recently, right? Was that recent? Yeah.
You mean
how was that?
In the spring?
Yeah. Well, I mean, like a while ago, I guess. Yeah. So was that something new in Taiwan then, or do they do things like that a lot?
I don't know, because I landed in March. I'm sure they've done it in the past. But
okay. All right, cool.
I don't know how.
So more hecklers here.
For me, yeah.
Really? That's surprising. That's surprising, because every time I go to a show, it's like, the person's funny, people are laughing. If the person's not funny, it's just quiet. No one's kind of saying anything. Mm-hmm. It's kind of like, I don't know. It's tough. It's got to be tough up there. Do you have any advice for people who want to try? Maybe try open mic. Don't try it. Just give up. Give up before. Okay.
You just have to really, 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 really love it.
Okay. It must be tough the first couple times, I would imagine. No.
I think at different levels you struggle with different things.
Okay.
Yeah. I would imagine, maybe even as the restaurant business, you struggle with different things at different levels. And, as you're growing as a business, you have new challenges that you didn't ever anticipate from 5 years ago.
Oh, for sure.
It's kind of the same
my
thing.
Gosh. Yeah. Could talk about that all day.
Right. So that's sort of like the same idea.
It's the same thing. Okay. Mm-hmm. Okay. Very cool. So do you remember your first time? Mm-hmm. Yeah? Was it a good experience? Or not really?
I dropped my script in the toilet.
Okay.
And I put it in my back pocket.
Okay, so I guess not a good experience, or?
I mean, it is what it is. I've never dropped something in the toilet before, so I was like, oh my God, this happened. I don't, what do I do?
Okay.
I don't know what to do. Yeah, because I was like, Because I think I had friends that tell me like, oh, just in case you forget something, at least it's like in your back pocket.
Okay.
But then I was like, but now it's...
When you're live on the stage, can you just pull something out and read it though, or
no? But
no?
In case it does happen, it's not like you have at least like a safety net.
Okay, cool.
Because you're not used to having to talk for so long at once, or like maybe you forget your next joke, or
you
just blank out.
Yeah, for sure. It's got to be tough for sure. I would imagine being in front of all the people. But I think
I didn't black out, but it did drop in the toilet.
Yeah, okay. Blacking out's got to be tough. Have you ever, when you blacked out when you went off a stage, or
no? But I blacked out in life a couple times.
Okay,
not on stage though.
Not in a good.
It's like
way.
medical conditions.
Okay.
But
Okay. All right. Cool. Yeah, one of the things that when you have a restaurant, you don't think of. So let's say things are going good. You have one staff who maybe they're unhappy and they're thinking about quitting. Before they quit, they start whispering to everybody, "Oh, this place sucks. Oh,
really?
Eddie, Eddie thinks he's something, blah blah blah," or whatever they're whispering. And it's like, and they try to convince everyone to quit. That's one of the things that you figure like, what? That's crazy. What are you talking about? If you have a problem, we can just chat, right? But it's crazy. That's the first thing that popped into my head when you mentioned that. But yeah, definitely. It's kind of like you would never think of that. It's not going to be in a book in a business class,
For sure.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's definitely crazy. Yeah.
I always had this casting director tell me, she was like, so she is like the head of casting at ABC New York.
Okay.
And she would always say, because she's seen so many actors, like she knows actors at every single level.
Okay.
And she'll say to people like, you wish you were, you were getting paid more today, or you were getting a bigger job than you actually are. But then when you actually get what you wish, and you're like, oh, well, this is not at all what I expected.
Okay.
And then you realize you run into things that you weren't able to deal with previously.
Okay. So how often do you need to write new material for your stand-up comedy stuff?
I mean, if
Skits
it's
or whatever, yeah.
your full-time job, I would assume every day.
Okay. And do you do it every day, or
I'll try to.
You try to. Okay. And where do you get inspiration for stuff like that?
I don't know. Once you start writing, things just come out.
Okay. Do you get like certain stories that kind of start you off on certain ideas, or?
I don't know. I think it's just usually like what I'm thinking about.
Okay.
It just leads to other things.
Do you have any tips for anyone who wants to try? Like, hey, use your stories, or use personal experiences, or crazy.
No,
crazy
everyone
family.
has such different styles.
Okay.
Yeah, like if you're a one-liner comic,
Okay. Those can be funny, right? Like I've heard a few really good.
Yeah, so it's hard to, because like your writing style determines how you are on stage and your persona.
Okay. That sounds good. Yeah. So, do you have?
Why are you interested in comedy?
No, I'm just curious. I'm kind of curious about everything. I mean, I like to. Whenever I go and watch a show, I think I wouldn't mind trying it.
Did
sometimes.
you sit through the whole show on Friday?
It was the Thanksgiving Friday. Was that this? That was 2 weeks ago, maybe. This week or 2 weeks ago? I don't remember when Thanksgiving was. I think it was 2 weeks ago.
And there was an English show?
Yeah, it was an English show. Yeah. There was one. I remember the one dude, like the David Hasselhoff joke, the intro sort of deal. He kind of had the long. He's a Canadian guy, pretty shy, but he's pretty funny. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I can't remember his name. Yeah, it was a good guy. I had a beer with him after. Yeah. You were there for that? I didn't see you there for that.
I was in the second half of the show.
Ah, okay. Matt got pretty drunk, so
yeah,
we were
I think
out
he
there.
left in the first
He did
half.
leave. Yeah, that's what happened. So what happened with that night was it was Thanksgiving. So I had a few beers that week, and I try not to drink that much. So it's like it would have been the third day in a row that I was gonna have beer, and I'm like, I'm not gonna come out. I don't want to come out. I'm gonna stay home and hang out with my daughter. And then a friend of ours is like, oh, this is like kind of Matt's going away party. I'm like, what do you mean going away party?
I had no idea. Is he still here?
Yeah, he's still here. He's still here. Yeah, he had to get some kind of
I should go say
a surgery. Yeah, he had to get a surgery, but he said that's gonna be his last night of drinking. His last party. I was like, what? You're like the owner of this place.
Isn't it like
What's
a
going
scary
on?
time to go back to San Diego?
Yeah, that's what I asked him. But I think his dad has some issues, some medical issues, so he wants to go back.
No,
and I said, okay, well, just go for a bit. And he's like, no, he's going back like permanently. And I said, really? I was surprised because I figured he'd been here a long time. Yeah, I figured he'd be a lifer. So. So I was like, okay, I'm coming out. So I went out.
He's also one of the owners, right?
Yeah, he is. Yeah. So I'm not sure what's going on with that. But I figured.
I'll buy your steaks.
Yeah. There you go. Yeah, you got an offer right here, man. Yeah. So basically, it's he's going to go back, and I think it sounds like he's going to stay, which was surprising. So anyway, when they told me that, I said, okay, I'll come out then, of course. Yeah. And so I went and.
Does he come here a lot? It's like
he did. He used to more. He started when he started 23. We promoted a lot of their beers and stuff, and I can't remember how long it's been. Maybe 6-7 years, maybe longer. I don't know. I'm just guessing. So yeah, he likes Fish Talk. He's a San Diego guy, so he comes out a lot. Yeah. So yeah, pretty cool. Yeah, pretty good guy, and it's a bit of a bummer. That's one of the bummers of when you live in Taiwan. People, some of your good buddies leave, but
yeah.
It kind of is what it is.
Lots of people come here just for a short term, right?
Yeah, they come for short term, and the crazy thing is, though, it's a great place, right? I don't know how you're liking it, but I think it's a great place. And usually, when people go back, when they stay here for a while, they imagine like their hometown or their home country as like before, like maybe when they were growing up, like the good old days. And then when they go back now, they're kind of like, it's kind of not the same.
Well, that's kind of my situation for here.
Okay. So how's it here? I mean, you grew up here and then you went there, and you prefer there or?
I don't know if it's a preference thing.
Okay.
I think it's just like I'm not really able to work in Taiwan. Like my hands are tied.
Okay.
It's frustrating.
But you have Taiwan ID, right? Or no?
No, I'm
okay. Well, so how are you not able to work? It's just
the industry is very much based off of your looks, and I'm not what they're looking for.
Okay. Well, I think you look great. So that's
it's not what the usual
okay
industry is looking for.
I'm curious what you think they're looking for now.
Oh, I know what they're looking for.
Okay, well then you tell me what they're looking for. No, I'm curious.
It's what you see on TV. It's just like very clean.
Okay. Talking about like Asian women look,
naive. No, should I say naive?
Naive?
Just like very clean. I would say more clean than naive. Like very clean.
Okay.
I wouldn't even say it's like. It's a very specific kind of attractive. It's the best word I can describe is clean. I don't have any other adjectives.
Okay.
To describe it
like
feels
the kind
like
of like the immature sort of feel or
it feels like
the kai sort of thing, right?
No,
not that.
Not necessarily.
No, not that. I think it was that before, maybe 10 years ago.
It's a very almost like facial cleaning products kind of look.
Okay.
Is the best way I can describe it.
Facial cleaning products.
Like sort of like I would imagine
the facial model.
If I were to hire someone for like an acne commercial, like that's the kind of face I would hire. And that's like the look that people are looking for. So if you don't fall under that category or like a variation of that, it's hard. Like when the role is specifically looking for you, they're going to find you. But if not, it's very difficult.
Okay. And so you've been here since March, you said, right? Mm-hmm. And you're just going to be chilling for a while, but you're doing the comedy shows every day?
I'm acting as well.
Yeah. You're what, sorry?
I'm acting.
Okay, great. Well, what are you acting in out here?
Not a lot because my hands are tied.
Okay, sure.
Just like commercials here and there.
Okay.
Mostly, yeah.
I'll pull up this guy right here. I remember that. That was a kind of a cool one, yeah.
So, have I watched this?
Yeah.
Oh.
I mean,
I might have.
Maybe you could tell us a little bit about that.
Sure.
While I eat my taco.
Sure. What do you want to know about this?
I mean,
what's it about?
Al
Pacino.
Okay.
It stars him.
Al Pacino?
Mm-hmm,
Okay.
And
you're involved in it. You're in it? You're involved in it? Yeah, okay.
I didn't get to work with him. Okay. But it's a show. Is this show, do they even have a second season? I'm not sure. So it's a show about...
So it's like a TV series?
Yes.
Okay.
That... Nazis were starting up again, and this time in New York. It's like a second wave of like...
Okay.
But this is back in like the 1970s, so it might be off of some historical stuff, like back in the days when Nazi had an uprising.
Okay.
So this one's set in New York. Like they're going to start a whole
and
new
filmed in
movement.
New York, I guess, right?
It is filmed in New York.
Okay.
This is in the 70s, so everything's
cool.
in the 70s costume.
Oh, that's kind of a cool time.
Yeah, no,
right?
because like I remember we were shooting in like an
You done? I'll
American.
get rid of this
Oh,
for you.
thank
Are
you.
you finished?
I am finished. Thank you.
No problem. Lily, can you give that to the kitchen?
This is very
sorry. Thank you.
restaurant hospitality.
Yeah, well, you got. I mean, it's like the empty plate. No one.
I know,
sees
like,
it. No one's saying anything. Like
I just started watching
even busy,
the documentary of
Yeah.
Andre.
Okay.
Do you know he's like this like he has a Michelin restaurant in Singapore, and then now he's running Raw, or is he owning Raw? I don't know if he runs or if he owns
the one
it.
here, the Raw here. Oh, okay.
Yeah. So many years ago, my mom.
I didn't know he had a documentary. Okay.
Yeah, it's new. It's new on Netflix.
Okay,
I just started watching it.
All
and
right.
It's just like it reminds me of like Jiro Dreams of Sushi, but
Oh, that's a great one. Yeah.
but for a Taiwanese man in like a European restaurant setting is how it felt.
Okay. Wow.
Yeah. But anyway, what was I saying? Oh, so right, Nazis.
Hundreds, yeah.
Nazis are starting
Right.
in this movement in the 70s. So
Okay.
like I remember shooting in like an American Airlines
Okay.
antique aircraft.
Okay.
So it's like the outside is an aircraft, but the inside was remodeled to reflect the 70s.
Okay.
Which is
That's
so
pretty
crazy
cool.
because like
Yeah.
I just had a small role, but
Yeah.
then like everyone, like every 3 extra on the airplane, there'd be like, I remember the coordinator walked in and said to the people, they were like, "Who here smokes?"
Okay.
And they gave the extra cigarettes to smoke on the airplane.
Okay. And do you smoke, or I don't know. I like.
No, I was
Okay,
not
okay.
an extra.
You're not
but,
okay, and I mean, like they just were just kind of giving cigarettes. Okay,
but they were just giving out cigarettes, and I
Okay.
remember that was like, oh my gosh, yeah, like this was not that long ago, where people smoked on airplanes.
Oh, that's right. Okay, I get
Yeah.
the point. Yeah. Okay,
Yeah.
I remember that as a kid.
But I remember I
yeah.
had to like serve them food, and as I'm like walking through it, I'm like,
So, what was your part in that? You were.
I just had a really small part, just a couple.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that
like-
means no, yes, both. You like?
I mean,
both? Yeah.
I've been doing it for so long. I think by this point, it's like if I don't do this, I don't really know what else I can
Okay.
do.
Cool. Understandable. Yeah. Okay. Cool. Yeah. And you're liking that then? Are you liking being back here then, or it's kind of like a mixed bag
I mean, I do wish I was
over there, or
that I wasn't so limited
Okay.
by the standards here.
Okay. I think it's tough here. Like the standards here, like for example, when you would teach English, like when I would teach English, I mean, I had a lot of friends that were, let's say, like not white looking, kind of. Let's just
Oh, yeah,
say.
that's very frustrating.
It would be so hard for them to get jobs, and then.
Yeah.
Like, my family's Mexican and but I would go into a job and they'd be like, okay, you
Yeah.
look white.
Yeah, you pass.
You're in.
Yeah.
I'm like, you guys want to see my resume? And they're just like,
Nope.
You're good.
I know.
So
I have a
like,
few friends
it's kinda
who
crazy.
are
It's
of
kinda-
Asian descent, and
Okay,
they'll
yeah,
be
it's
like,
tough.
"Don't ever speak Mandarin in front of the parents. Like, don't let any of the kids know.
Okay.
Don't when you're in the school, don't ever say anything in Mandarin.
Really? Yeah.
Well, yeah, because they just come
Yeah,
off
'cause
as
then
like,
it's like,
oh, their family here.
Oh,
and
yeah,
whatnot.
yeah. I actually had because I love it here, and whenever I'd go back, I would always tell people, all these good things. And I had a really good friend of mine. They're Filipino, right? Filipino Canadian, and they're like, he's like, I'm thinking about going out there, man. What do you think? And I'm like, because I mean, he's Filipino, right? And they look Filipino, right? Which is nothing wrong with. I said, hey, if you want to come check it out. You stay with me. It'll be a little bit tough though, and I had to kind of explain. He told me that
Tough in what ways?
to get an English teaching job
I see.
as a Filipino. Do you know what I mean? And even though, I mean, he's Canadian, right? But I said, this was also 12, 15 years ago. And I was like, it was tough because I also had some like African American friends here at the time and actually some Filipino friends. And it was hard. It was hard for them. And they eventually left, which was a bummer because they were some good dudes. And so he told me, well, my mom said, it's going to be tough, but I want to ask you. And I was like, you can come, man, come and stay with me. You can stay with me for free. Try it out. It might be tough. But that was a bit unfortunate. So he ended up not coming, which was a bummer because he was a good friend of mine. But I'd have felt bad if he came and he would have been like, dude, you should have told me something. And I'm like, that's kind of a weird thing to say, It's a weird situation. But yeah, I've had a few friends have that happen, which is a bit of a bummer. It's a bit of a bummer, yeah. Unfortunately, but yeah, I also had ABC friends and CBC friends who would come and teach, and also they had a little bit of a harder time as well. And I figured their Mandarin is way better than mine, and their English is the same as mine. So you would almost think it would be more valuable, right? But it's just weird sometimes, I guess. Yeah, it's a bit of a bummer.
It's very image driven.
It's crazy, right? Like I was kind of like, well, what's going on here? This is nuts, but I mean, nothing you could do about it, I guess, right? Yeah.
I don't know who was it that told me this recently, and I was just kind of shocked. But he was telling me how like my Taiwanese friends who heard. So my friend's Asian. He was like, "Oh, my Taiwanese friends are telling me, isn't it hard for you as an Asian person to do English comedy in Taiwan?" He was like, "Because if me as a Taiwanese person, I'm going to go see an English comedy show, and I don't see a foreigner on stage, or like a white face. I think probably someone pale and blonde or brown hair. Sure. They would feel like." I don't know if like the word is like something's missing out, or they feel like I didn't get what I expected.
Okay. It's a bit.
And I was like, it was interesting because I never thought of it that way.
Yeah, that sucks. I remember one of the jobs when I was moving from. I used to live in like Banqiao sort of area, and when I moved out to Danshui, this was obviously way back before the restaurant and stuff, before I was married, and I was on the MRT and I was passing, by this, these schools, and I kind of like, I took a little. I don't know if they had camera phones or if I wrote the number down, but I got the number, and then I got home. I called the school, and it's still there now, and I'm still friends with the owner. But I'm just like, hey, I'm moved to this area. Do you guys need English teachers? And they're like, well, we do need English teachers. And I'm like, okay, cool. I've just moved to the area. So what do you want me? Do you want me to interview you, or what are we doing? What should we do? And like, okay, come in tomorrow. And we'll see. We start at 5:50 or whatever, something like that. And I'm like, well, actually, but what I get now is 6:50, and they're like, okay, no problem. We'll just come in and we'll chat tomorrow at 8:30. So okay, so next day I go in and have like my resume and stuff. I walk in there, and they're like,
this is an English school, right?
Yeah, an English school, like a cram school, kindergarten English school teaching. They were looking for the foreign English teacher, and there wasn't very many foragers out in Danshui at that time. So you go in there, and you walk in, and they're just like, okay, 6:50, start tomorrow, 9:00.
Oh my god!
And I'm like, do you want to see my resume?
Nope, that's so creepy.
They're like, no, they don't. Yeah.
Yeah, sort of your
Joe,
looks.
you got to take care of C1. Come on, man.
No
Sorry,
worries.
Drives me nuts. Yeah,
no worries.
I have a little bell here usually, and it's like ding, because when we do this at 7 p.m., it's usually really busy. Yeah. So Wednesday's a weird day. So we started doing this on a Wednesday because Wednesday used to be a really slow day, and after we started doing little things like this, it used to be busy. Well, lunchtime is apparently not, but that's okay. Yeah.
Yeah, I actually went to TAS for 1.5 years.
Okay, that's cool.
But I don't think I ever. I mean, back in the days, I don't think this was way before. This restaurant's 15 years old, right?
No, this one is not. We started in Danshui.
Oh, I see.
This one is maybe 6.
I see.
Yeah.
Because I was like, I don't remember having a Mexican joint back when I was a kid.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's. I think there's like Jake's was around, right? Jake's is pretty old, right? No, do you remember Jake's? I think they closed down recently.
Been a while.
Yeah. Anyways, yeah. So. Yeah. Anyways, it was kind of weird that I'd go in and they're just like, "Yep, start tomorrow."
Yeah, it's really not about the skills. Did they at least give you training though?
Oh no.
No.
No, you almost get no training at schools. Yeah.
So you just start.
So this was I had experience, but they didn't know or didn't care. So I was just like, all right, cool. So I went, and I'm actually really good with kids because I've been coaching soccer since I was. So it was easy. But the reason though is because once in a while, they'd buzz up to like my classroom. It'd be like second, third floor. They'd buzz it up. They'd be like, all right, Ed, need you to come downstairs. Like, okay, come on down. And then there's like one of those like Mercedes-Benz guys just kind of like walking in, and he's just like, show me your foreign teacher, All right, Ed, come on down. Let's come down. Yeah, parent.
Oh, God.
It's crazy. It's a crazy scene. You have no idea. So you go down. I'm like, how's it going, man? And he's just like, Okay. And then he pulls like a wad of blue bills out, starts paying like the tuition.
I didn't know.
All right, Ed,
I didn't know the
you're good. Go
mobsters
back.
in Danshui.
I don't know. They're just like, all right. They're like, all right, Ed, you're good. Go back. I'm like, we're done? Yeah. I'm all right. Cool. Where are you from? Oh, Canada. All right. Go back to class, and it's just like teaching the ABCs, and it happened quite a few times actually. It was weird.
Wow.
It was a weird situation, but I don't know. But what you were saying, you know, it's weird. It's a crazy situation. Yeah.
That's interesting.
Yeah. But I think we do have some similarities, I think, back home. Like if you go to a Mexican restaurant, you see the Mexican guy in the kitchen, and you're like, okay, I'll try this place.
Well, it's
you know
usually
what I mean?
a Chinese guy.
Yeah, exactly. That's it. Yeah. There's not very many Mexican restaurants where
Well, that's true.
live,
I mean, if
yeah.
I go to a Chinese restaurant and I see
Yeah.
a Mexican, and they're like, no.
No,
No, I need my
we need the
I need my
Chinese.
angry Chinese man in there to cook me angry food. Like
That's what it's about.
It's only
yeah.
authentic if they're angry.
Yeah, that's the best. Yeah, I actually get a lot of.
I need them to yell at me. It's part of the experience.
no substitutions.
Like if I go to Chinatown and like
Yeah.
they don't throw the menu at me, I feel a little like
You're insulted. Yeah, you're like, how dare you not
No,
throw menus
I
at me?
mean-
Yeah.
I mean, no, I feel like if they're nice to me, it's like, oh, a lot of tourists come here.
Okay.
Because that's how they keep the tourists.
Okay, they
'Cause
gotta be
can't-
nice. Okay.
I mean, you can't scare them, you know.
Well, yeah. I mean, I think yeah.
It can get
Yeah.
aggressive sometimes, for sure. I think like we're
In
able
Chinatown?
to talk.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
Also, I make sure to
This
always
is New York Chinatown or all Chinatown?
I always
mean,
make sure to
Vancouver
either
Chinatown.
speak English or like my basic Cantonese. Because if I speak Mandarin, they'll think I'm from mainland.
Oh yeah.
And so it's a different
And
different
everyone-
attitude, yeah. Because like I think Chinese people are like the newer immigrants
Okay.
to Manhattan or Flushing, or,
Okay,
or
okay.
even like I guess they go shopping in Manhattan, Chinatown as well. But
Okay.
yeah, it's a very different.
Is it
it's
a
very
big
different
Chinatown
service.
in Manhattan? Is it a big Chinatown?
There's multiple, so you
Okay. Oh,
have
there's more than one.
You have like the old, I guess the traditional oldest one in Manhattan, and then this
Food.
I would say the second one's out in Flushing, but it's like the biggest one because it
Okay.
sort of just like spreads out to the suburban area, and then you have the one in Brooklyn, and that one consists mostly of like food. I guess you say like Hokkien-ese, so like Fujian.
Okay.
Like
Okay.
Food, so they speak more Fujianese.
Okay.
Then Cantonese, then Mandarin.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. The food's got to be great though, right? No.
It depends. So I would
Okay.
say if I were to get
If they're
beef noodle
angry?
soup in Manhattan,
Okay.
Chinatown,
Yeah.
I would come out of it very thirsty and tired. Like there's a lot of I would feel
Okay.
like every time I get beef noodle soup there, if it's authentic, if I get this like I get a little drowsy after.
Really?
Mm-hmm. I'll never be able to find good Taiwanese food,
Okay. Yeah.
even out in Flushing.
Okay.
Which is
okay.
like if you were to find like your best shot is out in Flushing, but even then it's like every dish I taste is like 70% to 80% there,
Okay.
but never
okay.
100.
Never 100. Okay.
And it's also like so much more. It's probably like 3 times more expensive.
Sure,
like,
of course.
Like a
of course.
zhushegao would be
Yeah.
$3.
Okay.
And what? It's like 30 NT here,
Yeah,
right, for one
$1,
stick,
basically.
Right.
Yeah,
It would be like $3 to $4.
Yeah.
If I were to buy it in the States.
That's. I mean, that's one of the things. Like we get a lot of Mexican customers here, and they also get that. They're like, hey, it's like 10 cents in Mexico. I'm like, ugh,
Yeah, but
I
you
can't
can't
sell that here.
No,
I
you
can't sell it for
can't.
10
It's
cents
the
here.
market price.
Like, come on, hey guys, hey. Yeah, so it's like, come on, yeah. So it's,
Yeah.
I can understand that
Yeah.
for sure. But I
But
remember.
for me, it's not
yeah.
the pricing. Then for me, it's like
Yeah.
the taste. It's like
Taste is not
It's
there.
like it's like enticing you. It's like almost there, but it's like it hasn't gone
Like you're
far enough
missing.
to like hit the spot.
coming there, and you're like,
Yeah,
oh, you didn't
but it's
scratch
just
the
right
itch,
there.
right?
Yeah, it's just right there
Okay,
to like
okay.
remind you of it, but
Okay,
not to
okay.
like
Okay.
fulfill you
Okay.
fully.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Cool. Is there anything that you miss from New York?
Well, so
Down. I don't want to cover your face.
oh, no worries. So the biggest thing with Cantonese culture is they're very good with their kanji.
Oh, good kanji is good.
Yeah. But I've now that I've been in Taiwan and
Find some good
I mean,
ones?
Food Panda's a new thing, so like I'm able to like scroll into restaurants that I
Okay.
don't usually
Sure.
scroll into. So
Okay.
then I was like, oh, actually, kanji here's not bad.
Okay.
I don't think it's too different from what I get in New York.
Okay. Wow.
Surprisingly, because when I was growing up as a kid, like you have porridge, which is like
Yeah.
our thing.
Yeah.
But like Cantonese kanji is more specific to them because they know how to like get the flavors in the rice and whatnot.
Okay.
Yeah.
Understand.
But I'm able to find pretty good quality in Taiwan. So it's like, I don't miss that so much. But the weird thing is, okay, so growing up in this, not growing up, but like I've lived in the States for 15 years and I have to eat at least one meal that consists of Asian food a day.
Oh, really?
Or else it drives me fucking crazy.
Really? Okay,
so then now
that's cool.
So
that's
now that I'm here in Taiwan,
how's it feel? Do you have the same?
Every week I have to eat a burger once.
Okay, yeah,
it's
that
really,
makes
really
sense.
weird
That's
to
good.
me.
Yeah. Where do you get your burgers? You try all the places out?
I have not.
Okay. That's cool. No problem.
I just go with convenience.
Okay.
Because I also find burgers to be so expensive here.
It's the same thing that I was saying earlier. There are some places where they're inexpensive for sure, but
like, is it
if you
because
go to
of
like a restaurant,
the cost of the ingredient? Remember, so like I did the coronavirus show in March 1st.
I saw it. I saw
when we were
clip.
planning for it, my producer and I, we would always go to a Chinese restaurant.
Okay.
Just because Chinese restaurants that were doing like mediocre to well had no customers because everybody was so paranoid. It's the same thing with like why Corona beer started to do so poorly.
Yeah.
It's not even Chinese, but the fact that it has the word Corona in it just like freaked everybody out.
Crazy stuff.
And because like people weren't, I mean, and we're talking like people who live in Manhattan, people who are educated, people who are here doing a pretty decent job. But like everyone was so scared and paranoid because the government wasn't telling us anything to like at all on how you're getting it, where does it come from, what do you do to protect yourself. So of course, when you see a beer that has a name, or when you see like Chinese food, like why are you going to risk yourself to something that you have no clear answers to?
Yeah, that's but
such because
a crazy
of that
situation. Yeah,
like I would say, I know about maybe the ones that I know, maybe like 4 Chinese restaurants that closed down.
Oh, that sucks.
And these were like famous ones. Like one's Jingfeng. It's like the biggest dim sum house.
Okay.
It has like
probably like 100
oh my God, it's
years
humongous.
old or something. Yeah,
it's so big. It's like
and good.
They could put like 2 wedding banquets in their space.
Wow.
Like 2
Okay.
they'll have like a phoenix and a dragon and like there's sort of like this middle hallway, but each place like fits about like maybe 100 people.
Wow. Okay.
So they had to close down. What else? So many places that were really, really good. Yeah.
Okay. That's a bummer. Yeah. I know a lot of, when you're in a restaurant, you kind of, you get into restaurant groups, and I'm in a few groups of people, restaurant owners in the States, in Taiwan as well. But in the States, it's kind of, it's a bummer. Like, it's like, you feel so shitty. They're like, this is the worst month and the worst year. And
I mean,
like,
even as a person
rough.
walking on the street, I had to be extra conscious not to sneeze because, like,
really?
I mean, like in March, it's like allergy season, right? Everybody, everybody is sneezing.
Yeah,
like the trees are blossoming, the flowers, the
I
grass,
mean, I have
like
bad allergies too.
Everything is like blooming from the snow, and so like everybody's sneezing, everybody's tearing up, everybody's clearing their throat.
Okay.
But then you go on the subway in March, and like you like sneeze, or like you're trying to hide your sneeze, but then people still notice it, and like everyone's like,
really?
Oh
that's
yeah,
so bad.
or like they like scoot from like one side of the subway car to another.
Really? Oh, that's tough.
I mean, it's essentially why we did the show, because it was like
it was that bad. Yeah.
No, it was very bad. And this is like, again, this is not like
it's not like the ghetto, right? It's like,
this is not like a suburban town.
Yeah.
That people don't really know better, but this is like everybody has a college degree, like the average New York worker.
Okay, that's wow.
But even then, it's like, this is such a real feeling of like, oh, New York is so woke, we're so like liberal, we're so progressive, but when it comes to like my personal safety, like fuck off. Like I don't care about your racial politics or whatnot. Like
that's a bummer.
And it's like, if not New York City, then like where else? It's kind of like, if people here are already reacting this way, then I can't imagine the other places that must be like 10 times worse. Yeah.
It's still really bad in New York, right? Did it get better? I have a friend that moved back there just City? Before all that stuff.
Oh, wow.
And he said it got pretty bad, but he says it's kind of getting better.
I think we definitely had our spike. That in March, April, May. And then it went down a little bit. They were like, we're actually doing really well, as the Midwest was not doing well and the South started to get really bad. And then post-election, post-Thanksgiving, things started to get bad for everybody again. So, I mean, right now, America is at its all-time high.
Is it really? Oh,
currently, at the moment.
That's awful. Yeah.
And with Christmas coming, people are visiting family, and winter. And also winter is like people, their immune system are more down because you have the flu. And once you catch the flu, you're more prone to other things attacking you.
Okay.
So I think, I don't know how it's going to look like post New Year.
That's and then Chinese New Year is coming up, right? I mean, that's.
I mean, we don't really celebrate Chinese New Year.
Yeah.
Actually, it's funny enough because like my boyfriend's a public school teacher there, and as of 2 years ago,
New York?
and as of 2 years ago, he started to get Chinese New Year, like 大年初一, like the first day of Chinese New Year off.
Yeah. Okay.
But that was like the very first time it's happened, because like we always get all the Jewish holidays off.
Okay.
Always.
Really?
New York is always.
Oh, really? Okay, I have no idea.
So like in the fall, we always have a lot of long weekends.
Okay.
Which is very common, and we obviously have the American holidays, but that was our first one. And I think they also put in like did they have like a Muslim holiday as well for one day?
Really?
So, yeah, it was like Chinese one day, Muslim holiday one day, and that was like a new thing as of 2 years ago.
Oh wow!
But it's so crazy because we have such a big Chinese population.
Well, I think there's the Chinese, they
and also
travel
it's
everywhere.
not, it's like I think they call it Lunar New Year. So it's not just Chinese. It also applies to the Koreans, which there are a lot of Koreans.
Sure.
And the smaller population of Japanese as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, the Japanese, I don't know if they celebrate Lunar New Year per se.
I'm not sure.
I'm not sure about that, but I know the Koreans do.
Do they? Okay, I didn't know that either. Okay.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. Yeah. I'm gonna pull up something else.
Some more photos?
Something funny. Yeah. What about this?
Very
Yeah.
professional.
What do you think? Cool. Yeah.
I love how this button has your face on it.
That's just because it's just a quick one to go back to here.
Oh, and
right?
it changes.
Yeah. And then
wow.
So then there's that. Then we got this.
This toy is
right
very
there.
fancy.
And then we got I'm just testing this one out right here, and that's this one right here. Just kind of testing stuff out. And then we've got it once in a while. Be like, don't forget to
nice.
Right? Yeah.
This is so high tech.
Yeah, it's I don't know. It's,
You make me
that's
feel
where
like
all
my
the beer money
podcast is
goes,
very sad.
What's that?
You make me feel like my podcast is
no,
very
what are you talking about? No, it's just
like podunk.
no, it's just basically, I'm just trying, and I get a little bit obsessed with. I want to make it better. And so working on it. But yeah, anyways, it's pretty cool.
So what were you gonna show me?
Sorry, I wanted to pull up. This is a pretty funny one. This was funny. This is like a tweet.
Oh
right?
Lord, yeah.
That was a good one, right? That was
I was just
funny.
like so pissed that like.
Yeah.
Was I think I was referring to Palau.
Okay.
This is back in August. I think I was talking about Palau.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, I think I was referring to the Navy ship people that went and then got back and caught COVID. Do you remember that?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, sure.
And they didn't go through the regulations because
that was kind
because
of
they didn't go through the normal route because it's military. Yeah.
That was kind of the when I kind of had the feeling like, oh no, we had it, and then we just slipped, and
then
like,
we
oh,
had like
shit.
20 people
like,
who've
like
been out and about.
Then and then people were like, don't go to this area, don't go to Ximending, don't go here, don't go there, and you're like, oh no. So and then restaurants in that area and bars in that area, they took like a really big hit.
Oh, did they?
Yeah, I know
Ximending?
a few. Yeah, and so. And Ximending, it's a cool area. I like
it is,
area.
yeah,
for sure. But
the new like back behind the red house area.
Yeah, it's cool. Yeah,
we didn't have that as a kid.
I think it's I like the little movie theater sort of strip, right, where you go and kind of. I don't know. I think Ximending's cool, and behind Ximending, there's a what is it called, Huanghebei Lu, and it's like a restaurant street.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, and it's
I feel like such a foreigner.
It's crazy.
'Cause
No,
when
I mean,
up, my mom would never let me go to the Ximen district because it was a red light district when I was a kid.
It was what? Sorry,
the red light.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
Oh, yeah. Even
wow.
when I was a teenager, you would see these old grandpas.
Okay.
They would be on these like bicycles, and then behind them would be this like kangbang, which is like a sign with lights.
Yeah. Okay.
Of like sex
Follow
phone
me.
calls.
Okay.
Sex phone calls or like hot ladies.
Really?
Never too nude, but the image was provocative enough that you
really?
knew.
Oh.
And the places where I would wait for the bus to take me home, you would have some barbershops that were with tinted windows.
Oh yeah. I mean,
we're talking like 15, 20 years ago.
Yeah. Like, so I've been, a funny story. I've been here for 18 years, right? So I do remember those blacked out barbershops.
Yeah,
and you walk by,
even in Taipei,
I'd be like, that's pretty shady. What is that? You know, and then people would be like, yeah, just don't go there.
Yeah, or
right,
like there were, I mean, not necessarily like this was legal or illegal, but
yeah, no idea.
There were so many like pachinko shops.
Yeah.
Like
those
when I
were
was
crazy.
a kid,
Of course,
so many pachinko shops.
Yeah,
I'm like, now that I was like, oh yeah, I mean, like, obviously I'm home every year, so I transition with the time.
Sure.
But it's like, where'd all these pachinko shops go?
Yeah, where'd everything go? Yeah. That's so funny. Yeah.
And like, if I stood in front of one of them, my grandmother would freak out.
Really?
She'd be like, don't stand there, don't stare at the people, because if the thing is like, if you stare at them and then like they feel like you're giving them like a side eye, they would, you know,
that's crazy.
If it's bad,
wow.
you'd get into a brawl, but you had to be careful about it.
Jeez.
Yeah.
Stuff. Yeah, I didn't know about that, but yeah, I definitely would walk by these places and be like, that looks pretty shady, you know, and then I'd ask people and they're just like, yeah, it is what it is, man.
I also went to my very first gay wedding at Honglo.
Okay. Back before.
Yeah, no, I was in middle school, so I was like 12. I think I was 12 or 13.
Okay.
And if I am not wrong, I think my mother was their quote unquote witness.
Oh, really? Wow. Okay,
yeah, that was like my first.
Really? But
I mean, it was my first wedding in the Honglo, the Red House, and it was also my first. I mean, it didn't seem strange to me because I knew the couple.
Okay.
But now that I think back to it, I was like, oh, it wasn't legal at the time. And
yeah, that's why. It just got legalized, right?
Exactly.
The last maybe 2 or 3 years, I think, right?
Yeah, 2019, right?
So were you here? You weren't here, right? No, kind of.
No, but we knew about it in the States, and we were very excited. It's kind of
big news, right?
No, everyone was like losing their shit in New York about it.
I think Taiwan is pretty awesome.
It was pretty big news.
Yeah.
I don't want to say this but it feels like the same-sex marriage was a bigger headline than Taiwan doing COVID well.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
Like the New York Times spotlighted Taiwan passing gay marriage as the first country or region as a bigger deal than, oh, they're doing so well with COVID.
It's kind of a bummer because COVID here, I mean, we're still restaurants are still open. It's been great. I mean, they've done so well. And I don't know, what do you think? Why do you think that it kind of, do you think because of China influence? No one really, for not sharing so much about how Taiwan has done so well with COVID.
I think it's a couple things. I don't think it's like personal. Oh, sorry, I keep like blowing at your mic. I don't think it's like personal. Yeah. I think it's there's the election coming up. There's we're trying to save ourselves, and the amount of mess that America is dealing with. It's like we almost have no time to focus on somebody else on why they're doing good, and we're just kind of like immersed in the shit that we're swimming in, if that makes sense. Yeah.
Okay.
It's like
kind of, it's all internal. Yeah.
I mean, that's a really great question because New Zealand's doing well as well, but they're I don't think they're doing as well as Taiwan. I don't think so. I mean, and also it's like a much smaller population, which is like.
Yeah. And it's a bigger place and smaller, right? Smaller population.
Right? Less people, like less condensed, less populated.
It is a bummer, like, because Taiwan has done so well.
Honestly, like, if you have a president that constantly tells you, like, inject bleach into your system and then, like, go under the sun, it's like, wouldn't you be more distracted by that than, like, an island out in the middle of nowhere in Asia is doing better? Like, to me, as if from an American's perspective, I would spotlight more.
Like, who cares? Yeah,
I would spotlight more on that than a country that I've never heard of. But if that's a place that is the first Asian country that legalizes same-sex marriage, and it's like, oh, okay, but that's like during a time of peace, of like not everyone around you's dying like flies.
That makes sense. Yeah,
that's my guess.
Okay.
Also, there's just like so many COVID-related news. It's like
so
vaccine,
bad.
No vaccine, different kind of cures. What are the numbers today? It's like an overwhelming amount of news surrounding the same topic. Yeah, you're sort of like swallowed.
Kind of crazy, right?
Yeah. Which is a funny thing because like all my Taiwanese friends are like, "Oh, you guys in America must know us so well because of how well we're doing. I'm like, no.
No.
Every time I have a Zoom meeting, people still like ask me, like, oh, are you guys okay? Is it okay? How are you guys doing there?
We're like, yeah, shit, we had like a concert last week, Phantom of the Opera.
I know, it's like,
yeah.
I'm living life per usual. I mean, not per usual because I can't do my job here, but like I can live a normal life.
Okay.
So I almost don't know what it's like to live under the quarantine lifestyle. I mean, under the COVID lifestyle, which is like everyone's very depressed.
Yeah, it's a bummer, right?
People.
I have a lot of friends that left just before that, or kind of at the beginning. They went back to their country, and I'm just like, sure, it's a good idea. I don't think that's a great. I don't think that's the best idea. Maybe just chill for a few months.
I mean, because I think it like exploded here first in Asia, so they're like, we gotta go now.
Let's get out of
here. And then it just completely destroyed the other places. Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
you mentioned New York Times. I got a little New York Times
Oh my gosh!
Deal right here, yeah.
Yeah, we were so surprised.
Yeah. Well,
so
can you tell us a little about that? That'd be cool.
My job was to outreach.
Okay.
So
that was the show you were just talking about, right?
Yeah. So like I sent out like maybe 200 to 300 emails.
Okay.
For this show, and I remember sending it out to New York Times. I'm like, there's no way they're gonna give a crap about this small show. It's like doing shows in America is so different from in Taiwan because it's like. You have 2 competing comedy clubs, and that's kind of it.
Oh, really? I mean, here.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. I was like,
but in New York, there's like, you have 20...
I have so many pictures of you with comedy clubs. It's like whoa.
Yeah, okay. So you have comedy venues, and then you have like independent shows like this. So essentially, we're talking like at least 50 shows a night around the New York area. So like, let's say ideally 10% of the people for entertainment want to go to a comedy show. Now they're going to be divided into these 50 options.
Okay, that's true. Yeah.
Like what's going to make someone want to see our little, weird show about coronavirus? Like, but
I saw some clips. It's pretty funny. Yeah.
I know. I was so stressed out that no one was going to show up.
Really?
Oh my gosh.
And it was amazing, and it was packed.
I was so stressed out.
Okay.
This might sound gross, but like right after the show, my period came.
Okay.
I was just like, wow, my body this whole time has just been like high alert mode.
Okay.
But we were also just so lucky because there was so much talk about. I remember this one article from the New York Times in February was like, experts say the coronavirus is definitely coming to America. And that was big news. That was like headline news.
Okay.
And right after the show ended on March 1st. So it says March 1st, 4 p.m.
Yep.
Our show ended at 5:30. And by 6:10, I was on the cab because we were carrying a lot of equipment.
Yeah.
I was on like a Lyft ride. I was like a share Lyft ride.
Okay.
And I was scrolling through my phone, and the first confirmed case happened in New York.
Really?
Yeah. So it's like, can you imagine if that had happened like 3 hours ago?
Yeah, that would be,
Like, we would have sold tickets and no one would show up to claim them.
Yeah.
Or, it's so crazy. It's so crazy.
Was that the last show you did out there?
Yes.
It was, yeah? Okay.
Oh, yes. Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. Okay.
Actually, now that I'm thinking about this, I shot a promo for Netflix.
Okay.
And now I'm wondering if it's after this. It might have been.
Okay. Yeah.
It might have been. I think I went on set to shoot a promo for Netflix.
What was it about? Just like
it was a
TV series or something? Or
it was what?
A TV series or a movie or something?
No, it was for Seinfeld's Netflix special. It's called 23 Hours to Kill. Yeah.
Oh, I love Seinfeld.
Oh, yeah? Did you watch that special?
No, I didn't. I didn't know there was one. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I don't really watch much TV, so I didn't really know that there was.
It came out, I want to say this
I'll definitely check it out,
or this summer.
Okay, I'll definitely check
special.
it out. It's on Netflix?
Yes.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. So
definitely check that out.
After the show, we shot that. But, I mean, I was so nervous that we couldn't sell tickets.
Okay.
But then, like, leading up to this, we had other outlets that helped us, like Time Out New York.
Sure, okay.
Or, like, The Gothamist.
Okay.
Now This News, many, or like, what else? I think CBS had confirmed to like come tape our show and many different things. So like I felt pretty good about it, but like it's always like the New York Times that has like the biggest like.
Sure, New York Times, yeah.
I know, like the New York Times.
New York Times.
So I think finally this came out. Like I was like, oh my god, okay, so now we can like focus on other things.
Okay,
But I was just
good.
like so stressed out.
Okay,
oh
really?
my god, just like
okay.
pulling
Well,
hair
New
and
York
teeth.
Times, it's like New York Times bestseller, New York Times this, right?
But I think mostly
Yeah,
just
so was
like
New York Times.
There's a
everything.
thing with New Yorkers is like, oh, if your show makes it to this, like your show always
You're
sells
legit.
out.
Okay.
I don't know if it's legit, but
Okay.
but tickets sell out, which
Okay,
is what's
okay.
most important.
Okay, well,
Because
yeah,
if
sure,
tickets
sure.
don't sell out, then you got to pay out of your own pocket.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, and what's crazy about the show
sounds tough as well. That's a
yeah,
tough industry.
for sure.
Yeah.
So
okay.
with this show, we like my partner and I, Kyle, we were like, okay, if we make a profit, we're going to divide it amongst all our performers.
Okay.
And at the end of the show, we made no profit. We
Okay.
evened out. Isn't that crazy? You sell out a show and you
tough.
just even out. I mean, that says so much about the New York comedy scene. It's like your rent is high, equipment is high.
Yeah.
Just
That
so many
sucks.
things you have to make into consideration. And I mean, I think I paid out of pocket for a little bit for the promotion of this. I sent out postcards
Really? Oh my
to
gosh.
industry. I mean, obviously the New York Times, I emailed them, but there were a lot of places that I had to like do postcards and
Okay.
with our posters in the front and like to print those postcards and to put in a postage. I paid that out of my own pocket. I don't think I ever got paid back for that.
Oh wow.
I mean, it was probably like $100 max,
Okay.
but still, like all the work that we put into the show, even as producers, we didn't make anything
course.
back.
Wow.
And like our goal was like, if we make even a little bit, we were going to divide it amongst all the
a
people
little
that did the
bit.
show.
We'll go out for dinner or do something, right?
Yeah,
Celebrate,
but even
right?
like, I mean, let's say if I were, this sounds so terrible, but like, if I were paid even $5 at a show at New York, I'd be like, oh, well, that's fine. That's cool.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
nice.
profit, right?
Yeah,
Okay.
right?
Yeah, that sounds like
It's
the restaurant business. Yeah.
But yeah, we made nothing. But you know, the good thing that came out of this is like some of our performers
Yeah.
got like some media attention,
That's
which
good.
to us is like, okay, at least it's something.
That's a plus, and then
Yeah.
making more opportunities.
Yeah, like CNN took like a small clip of one of the things that the performers said and
Okay.
then put in their podcast and had
That's
an article
cool.
about
Yeah,
it.
yeah,
Yeah. So it feels like, okay, so that's, we did give them something
Okay.
rather than nothing.
The podcast thing is huge, right? There are a lot of comics with podcasts in the
CNN.
States.
Oh no, this
Yeah,
one's like
like-
CNN
Yeah, okay,
podcast.
okay. Oh,
yeah,
the
yeah,
CNN.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So Doctor, what's that famous Indian doctor? I can't remember his name
don't
on top of
know.
my head. It's been a while. But yeah, so he was. I don't know why he was doing
Cool.
that episode, but that was like
Okay.
that was cool. But no, the podcast industry in New York is so saturated. It's a joke.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
It's a
for
joke.
Sure.
It's
Yeah,
like I'm
for
doing
sure.
the podcast. I'm like, oh, I'm doing the podcast.
I know. When I was starting this, people were like, "Why are you starting a podcast?" And I just said, "Well, because in the restaurant here, we get to meet a really cool mix of people, and then what things I like to do is I like to chat with the customers, and I get to hear so many cool stories, right?" And I'm like, sometimes people they just tell me like one of my good friends, a German guy, we're sitting around and he, he's a couple years older than I am. So I said, I remember like when they took down the Berlin Wall, right?
Oh,
Like
wow.
on
Damn.
TV, whatever, right? But he was there, and I'm like, oh shoot, tell me about that. And then we talked for like half an hour, and I thought, oh shit, we
You
should
wish you
recorded
shared
that. That should have been
yeah.
that should have been recorded.
Yeah, I'm sorry, I'm not that
So, yeah.
ancient.
Yeah, no, but it's kind of like I was
all
like,
I
wow.
know is the Ximending being a red light district.
Ximending, red light, yeah.
That's all I can remember.
The tinted out,
the tinted windows, the barber
tinted
shops.
window barber shops, yeah.
Yeah,
Those were funny though. Yeah, I remember.
yeah.
I remember how it's funny. I had a friend of mine way back who wanted to go, and I'm like, dude, I'm not going there. It was that's a crazy.
Is there
story,
still a
yeah.
lot of I guess like in like where
Vincent,
the
where the
yeah,
comedy
where
club is,
club
yeah.
is.
So whenever, it's so funny because it's always like a running
But it's so
joke.
different though.
Yeah,
Like the red light district feel
yeah,
is so different on Linson and
Yeah.
versus on Ximending. Ximending felt like you could go to a strip club,
yeah.
and like Linson felt like very like private customer,
Yeah.
clientele based.
Those are crazy. Yeah,
situations.
Yeah.
Yeah, it feels very, very, very different.
Those are crazy situations. Yeah. Like I have a couple of friends that before they left, they're like, hey, we got to go check that out. I'm like, I don't really want to go there, man. I don't want to spend the money and I don't want to do anything there.
It's got to be expensive, right?
It's expensive. Yeah. It's about, I would say $3,000 an hour, $4,000 an hour just to
That's not horrific.
just sing KTV.
Wow.
But just for Sing KTV.
Wow.
Yeah. So it's like, and it's
Wow.
like it's just me singing Sinatra all day because that's all that's there, right? Yeah. So it's a crazy situation for sure. Yeah. But yeah, no, I think it's a weird situation. Yeah. I mean, it's not something we have back home, but it's there, so it is what it is.
I'm
right?
surprised that it's legal. I mean, it's not, right?
I don't think it's legal.
So how do
I think
they-
KTVs are kind of a weird thing.
How do they get by with it?
Oh, I think it's gang run, so it's kind of like under the table. I think
I
don't
see.
really know. It's funny because we like KTV. Like my daughter loves it, my wife loves it. So we recently just set something up at home.
Oh, but you guys still have karaoke nights here. You
Yeah,
said.
we do. Yeah, we do. So
you guys should come one night. It should be fun.
Yeah, you should. Yeah, we actually once in a while we'll go to like one of the holiday or something, holiday KTV. I think it was about a month ago we went to it, and it was me and my wife and my daughter's 8, right? So we went in, and then I think it was a Friday night or a Saturday night. I mean, we were able to get out of the restaurant. We're like, let's go sing.
Oh, wow.
So we went. And it was
like,
funny
no
because
kids?
it got raided. It was like 11 p.m. or
By the
10:30.
cops?
Yeah. It got raided. It was
Holy
like a
shit.
legit like holiday KTV,
Yeah.
and it got raided. And they come in and they're like, "We need to see your IDs." And I'm like,
Yeah.
And it's like my 8-year-old daughter is singing, and she's
whole
like, "What's
new
going on?"
world.
Basically, they're just like the cops look at each other,
Like, there's a kid.
and I'm like, "Do you need to see her ID too?" And they're just like,
She's actually our child. She's not trafficked.
Exactly. They're just kind of like.
Not a traffic
They
ring.
They look so puzzled because
Yeah,
they're
they
just
must
like
be.
I don't know, they were maybe looking for somebody,
Well,
but they
yeah,
see
most
like
most adults don't let kids go to KTV.
Yeah, for
and
sure,
some of the
yeah.
KTV places they
Yeah.
have an age limit too.
yeah, for sure. So
Yeah.
I think she has to be out by 11:30, and it was kind
Yeah,
of
but
like
she's 8. She'll probably be sleeping by then.
Yeah. So she was. It was close to 11, but I mean, we were just finishing up. I think we were on the last maybe 10 minutes, and then we were gonna go home, and then they like busted in, and they're just like, "We need to see your IDs," and it's like my wife and like my daughter singing like a duet, and they're just like, they were like so confused, like,
Yeah.
should we, like,
Yeah, now
do we
I
need
think
her
about it,
ID? And I'm like,
I think I was at 2-3 a little earlier that
Yeah,
day,
it's
and there were
crazy,
these
yeah.
2 cops that came in, and I'm just
Okay.
like,
it's weird, right?
It's weird.
It's always
I
a
think
weird feeling. Yeah.
also just like my understanding of cops in Taiwan versus my understanding of cops in New York is so different.
Yeah, for sure,
Because when
for
the
sure.
cops come, it is always bad news in New York.
Yeah, sure,
But
sure,
like when
sure.
I was a kid, I remember one time. So I was like a bushiban kid. Like I went to English cram school every single day, and one
Really?
day,
Okay.
and I took the public bus
Okay.
from school to go to my
Lily,
cram school.
Lily, can you take this one? Thank you.
I took the bus from my public school to my cram school, and
Okay.
then when I was done with class, from my cram school to my house.
Okay.
And then one night, I think I was so tired, I overslept.
Okay.
So then I was like out in the middle of nowhere.
middle of nowhere,
and it was
okay.
really, really scary. And I remember this. I mean, I know exactly where the spot is now.
Okay.
But the place I got off, it had this huge sign that wrote 龟山岛.
Okay.
龟山岛is Turtle Island. That's
Okay.
out in Ilan.
Okay.
And it's the island that you
Wow.
can see from across the place.
Okay,
and I'm like,
yeah.
holy
Where
fucking
the hell-
shit, I'm
where-
at Guisandao.
where am
Holy
I?
shit.
Oh my
but
God,
really,
yeah.
it was just like a seafood restaurant.
Oh, that's so
but then
crazy.
like when you're like 9, like you
You're
don't
freaking out.
Exactly,
Like,
I'm
oh my
freaking out. I was
gosh.
in 3rd grade, probably 8.
It's my daughter's age.
Yeah, so I was like freaking
8.
out. I'm
She
like
would've-
so
yeah.
scared. And I didn't have enough money on me because back then a bus ride was 8 NT.
Okay. Okay.
For an 8-year-old, a bus ride was 8 NT.
8 NT, okay.
And to call on the public phone, it's 1 NT per minute. I don't know if
Okay.
that's still the case.
I have no
There's not even
idea.
public
I haven't
phones
used a
anymore.
public phone
I know.
in a long
it's
time.
1 NT. So
Okay.
I remember I purposefully gave 7 NT in the thing, and I made sure the coin slid down before the bus driver could notice.
Could see. Yeah.
And then
yeah.
I hid the 1 NT,
That's
and
so
I ran
funny.
off the bus to look for
Okay.
a public phone to call home.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Wow.
But then, like after an hour, I ran into a cop by accident,
Okay.
and the cop called my parents and stayed with me.
Okay, well,
until
that's-
my dad came to pick me up. So that's like my understanding of cops.
Well, that's
in
kind
Taiwan.
of. It's pretty much.
And
I
then
think
I
that's
go to
pretty
the
accurate.
States,
Yeah.
and then like the amount of shit that goes down, it's like
Well, I
unbelievable.
think they deal with a lot more over there, right? A lot more craziness there. I mean, here I, think it's
mean-
pretty chill. I mean, I'd like.
I mean,
to
there's like
think.
the racial tension, there's like the
okay.
violence, there's like the profiling, which wasn't. I didn't witness any of that growing
Okay.
up.
Okay. Yeah. Sure.
You know, I've I've never even seen a police use a gun in my life growing up in Taiwan.
Okay,
I think
for sure.
We're sort of like shielded very much so in that way.
Oh, for sure.
So then like now when I see cops, I have like a very different feeling. It's like,
yeah, for sure.
They're here to like interrogate you, look like fish through your bag.
Yeah,
like,
cops here really melt. I have a few friends
crazy.
that are cops, and I was back in a few years ago, I was asking my cop friend, I'm like, I'm thinking about doing a food truck. I want to set the truck up and then back it up into the kitchen. Kitchen loads it up and we send it out. But I'm like, I don't know. I can't really find like any like laws. I'm like, is it illegal? Is it legal? Yeah. I'm like, I have no idea. And like my cop friend, he's like, it's a great idea, man. You need an investor? And I'm like, no, I need to know if it's legal, dude. He's like, yeah, that sounds great. Yeah. And I'm like, but is it legal?
No laws,
He's just like, yeah, it's just.
There are no laws. Just open up a shop.
It's like, okay,
it's like
cool,
a noodle shop. It's like the roadside noodle shop thing.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I was like, okay, are we legal then or we're not? Yeah, it's crazy. Yeah. When we opened our first restaurant in Danshui, we went into the government office. It was like a block from the restaurant. We went in, like we were already open, but we didn't have the license yet. We're like, let's go down and get the license. So we go down to the license place, and then the guy's like, hey, we're chatting with the guy, and we're like, open we need a business license. He's like, oh, okay, cool. He opens up this drawer, and he's like, okay, what's the name? Eddy Moshiga Tanting. And I'm like, okay, what is this? Blah, blah, blah. And he's like, okay, well, what's the address? I'm like, oh, just up there, man. He's like, oh, Danshui? And I'm like, yeah, Danshui. Yeah, that's exactly what he did. He's like, Danshui. We don't. This is like in the government office.
Jeez. Oh,
he's like, and I'm like, okay, you're saying that, but I want to pay. And he's like, 不用了，没有关系了. And I'm just like,
wow. Oh man.
What? Are you serious?
I mean, that's the thing. Like, so many things are changing in Taiwan.
Yeah.
Like,
well, now it's maybe not like that.
For sure. Like, I'm taking my driver's license like 20 years late, right?
Okay,
and like my friends who took it, they were like, oh, just like drive around the thing, and then like your coach would be like, all right, here's your license.
You're good to go. Yeah.
And I'm like, not in my case. Like,
your coach. My coach isn't that nice.
You had to like study for the written test was so hard. It took me so long to study.
Okay.
And now you don't. Not only do you have to drive within the course, you also have to drive outside.
Oh, really?
For a while, like I had to drive outside for like 10 to 15 minutes.
Really?
And it's crazy because like.
Traffic's nuts.
So like there's like an expressway and a bridge coming down. So, so you have a main street going down that's forking out.
Okay.
And on the opposite end, it's also one street it's forking out. So you have like two lanes on each side, and both of them are forking out.
Okay.
And then you have to drive right into it to join it.
Okay.
And that was like the scariest thing.
Those are crazy. Yeah. Some of the stuff is.
You have like trucks and scooters coming up from behind
and
you.
everyone honking. And if you slow down, it's like, what are you doing?
If you slow down, you're like causing traffic, but then you're also scared.
Yeah. And I remember I actually learned to ride a motorcycle here. Like, like I came like my first month. I'm like, there's no way I'll ever ride a motorcycle here. And then like the second month, I got paid, and I was like, I think I'm gonna buy a motorcycle. You
didn't just
like
go with a bicycle. You went with a motorcycle.
No, I went with like a. It's like a 150. It's like a small one, but it was like it had the gears and stuff, And I'm like, oh, that's a cool one. I'm like, I'll take that one.
Wait, what made you want to do it though?
I was 23. I was like a dumb kid, I was like, hey, I just got paid, like got a decent paycheck. I'm gonna go get that. So I went in and I bought it, and then the guy's like, okay, cool. So he's like, do you have your Taiwanese license? I'm like, no. He's like, no, whatever. Here you go. This is for you. And I'm like, okay.
Oh my god.
Yeah, so I don't know how to ride this. And the guy's like, it's yours, man. Do whatever you want. So I like pushed it home. I like walked home pushing my motorcycle.
Oh my god.
And then one of my coworkers, he was a motorcycle guy. And then I'm like, hey, man, what are you doing this weekend? He's like, oh, nothing. What's up? I'm like, can you teach me how to ride my motorcycle? And he's like, all right, do you need them? I'm like, no, I already bought it. It's just sitting there. So can you teach me how to ride it? And so like one weekend, crash course, learned how to ride it. And then... driving to work, I remember there's this one kind of I think it was a left turn, but I didn't really know you have to go into that little box thing and then turn left. And then it was just like all these buses just like honking. I'm just like, ugh. So I never turned left ever. I would just go right. Oh, I missed it again. I'm going to go right. So it was just like all right turns for like a month.
Yeah.
And then eventually I'm like, okay, I think I got it. So it's kind of crazy. Yeah. It's kind of a crazy situation. Yeah.
No, but Taiwan is so much easier.
Yeah.
Especially if you don't live in Taipei, you have to rely on it.
Yeah, for sure. The good thing about here, I think Taipei is like, I don't have a car. Like I don't. I mean, we'll just taxi or it's MRT or we have a scooter for the area.
Yeah.
That's it. We don't actually ever have a need for a car. So that's kind of one of the cool things. And I'm not a big car guy anyway, so it's kind of a cool thing. Yeah, I know. I like that. I like the
I got my
fact that I don't
driver's
need a car.
license so that I wouldn't ever have to take the test in New York.
Okay.
But then I passed it, and then I went on DMV. They're like, "You need to take it again."
Oh, really?
I'm like,
shoot.
no.
Okay. That's crazy.
I probably should have done my research before going through this hell. It was so much work. So much work.
So
I'm glad I passed it though. Oh, jeez.
So when you came, was the 23 Comedy Club open already?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Has it been a year? Have they been
No,
open?
I remember
They're
Sam.
new.
I remember Sam texting me
Yeah.
like videos of the new club before they were like still under construction. But
Yeah,
you can
yeah.
kind of see the rooms already.
Okay.
And some installments were already there.
Okay.
And he was just showing me. I was like, oh, I can't believe it. Like we started out from like a basement.
Yeah, for sure.
Under a bar.
Yeah.
To now having such like fancy lights and like.
Yeah,
you know,
no,
like
it's
a
pretty
room,
nice. Like when
you know,
I went, like I said, a couple weeks ago for the first time,
Yeah.
and I was like, "This is really nice." It's
Yeah,
kind of a nice
and now
place.
it's almost
yeah.
been a year. Isn't that so crazy?
It's time is just flying. It's crazy.
I mean, I don't know anything about the management side of things, but it's just like we survived the first year, and the first year we had COVID. You know?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. I think Brian, right? With Brian, I think he's been really popular, right? Like in Taiwan, he's like, "Hey, brother, how you doing?" He's kind of like super popular Taiwanese, like the king of the comedy right now, right? So I think that helped a lot, right? What do you think? Or
I would assume so.
You would assume so, yeah.
I mean, a lot of the Taiwanese comedians here are exploding.
Okay, great. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean.
So do you think that is because he kind of exploded, or do you think it's like unrelated?
I don't know, because when he exploded, I wasn't here.
Okay.
I mean, I
'Cause
remember
oh my
Brian.
gosh,
I
he's
remember back in the
massive.
days when
Like he performed here, like
Yeah,
he did a comedy
exactly.
show here.
I remember those
such
days.
a chill
I
guy
remember
too. He's
those
a nice
days.
guy. Yeah, really good guy.
I remember those days where, like, I remember my friend Garen from Hong Kong would come to Taiwan over
Okay.
Christmas or New Year, and then like Brian would open for him.
Yeah,
or, like
yeah,
Sam
exactly.
would host,
Yeah,
and then
yeah,
like
yeah.
another person who was
They
already
were
doing
here.
comedy here. Exactly, they would
Sam
just
was
do all
hosting
that.
here, and he was, and I was like, this guy's funny. Yeah,
I
it's
remember.
good.
I remember those days.
Yeah.
and like.
And then he has like
internet.
his own night show thing for a while. It's like it's crazy. Yeah, he's a good guy too. He's a really friendly. I haven't seen him in a long time, but
Yeah.
I met him a few times. He seems like a really good guy. Yeah. So I think him exploding is probably good, right, for Taiwanese comedy.
I would
Yeah,
assume
you
so.
would assume, yeah.
It's still a very, very young scene.
For sure, yeah,
People,
yeah.
I mean, I still tell this to people who don't understand all the time. It's like, you understand, like, every time a Chinese show starts, the host has to be like, this is a comedy show. What is expected of you is to laugh. So why don't we start 1,
That's
2,
awesome.
3.
Oh, really? No,
Yeah,
really? Oh,
every
my gosh.
every
so
single
hilarious.
Mandarin
Okay.
speaking show, they would start like that.
Really? Still?
Still,
Okay. Oh,
still,
that's
even till
awesome.
this day. And the first time I saw it, I was like, and like nobody was weirded out the way I was.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, that's funny.
And they're like, if you've never been to a comedy show, we have a couple rules. Number one,
Laugh.
Number one, don't hit the actors. They call them actors. They don't call
Okay,
them
yeah,
comedians.
that's fine,
They
yeah.
like number one, don't hit the actors. Number two, if you like something
Like,
they
don't hit
said,
them?
yeah,
Like,
don't
hit?
hit. Yeah.
Okay.
不要打演员.
Okay, 不要-
That's how they
okay,
say it.
okay,
不要
okay.
打演员.
Okay.
Like if something they say is
and
disagreeing with you,
wanna
don't
punch
hit
him?
them.
Okay. Like
Number
the politician thing, right? Yeah.
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 Or I think it's just a joke. It's like 不要打手机.
Sure, of course,
Like don't
yeah.
play with your phone. I think something
Okay.
along those lines. And also, most importantly, if you like what they're saying, you can clap and laugh at the same
Okay.
time. They'll say that.
And people are like,
and they're like,
"Ooh,
usually a good
okay."
place to laugh is when they pause.
When they pause and wait for
Like
the laugh.
this,
Yeah.
yes, and then
Oh, I get- and
when they
people are like,
when they
"Oh,
pause like
yeah."
this,
That's funny.
and then ha ha ha, you've passed the test. That is
Okay.
what you're supposed to do at a comedy show.
Congratulations. You passed the test. Wow.
So
okay.
that happens at every open mic and at every show.
Really?
Every.
Okay. I've never,
So when I
obviously
came
I've never
back to
gone
do-
to a Chinese one.
And
but yeah.
I mean, I didn't go into the Chinese scene until this year.
Okay.
So as I'm going to, and I'm just so many things are so strange to me.
How is
including
it?
That.
How is it doing it in English and then doing it in? I mean, I know you're
It's
fluent in
two
both.
different worlds.
Yeah.
It's
How are
like
they different? I mean, I would imagine
too many things.
growing up. In Canada, speaking English, and then my family's Mexican, so we'd go back to Mexico, every year, every couple of years for the summer, and I mean, like, it's actually similar to here, like the variety shows and stuff like that. They would have things like on Sunday, like Siempre en
more
Domingo,
vaudeville.
and it was really like I mean, stuff that is a Canadian is just not fun. It doesn't feel funny. It's not funny at all.
Exactly.
But then, like, the Mexicans are laughing their heads off, right? And I would just be like, well,
I'm gonna guess Mexican is maybe more like physical as well.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of like perverted jokes, and there's a lot of So it's kind of like
perverted in what way?
It's been a while, honestly, since I've seen that, because I didn't really enjoy them, so I didn't even watch them. But it was just like, I don't know. I would, from what I remember, it's similar to like a Taiwanese variety show. You know, like I remember. I think they're a little different now. Again, I haven't really watched one of the variety shows here for a long time. We don't really have variety
shows now.
But
They've sort of
like
died
before,
down.
right? Like before, I remember adults would be like, you know, those little, like these little stick with a little hand on them, where they would like slap each other in the ass and stuff, like men doing that, and I would be like, I don't know if that's funny, but you know, but I mean, Mexico would be similar like that, yeah. So yeah, I would imagine. I mean, what's your take on the differences in the comedy?
If we go specifically by like telling jokes in stand-up comedy, the style of humor and what people find funny, joke structures are completely different.
Okay.
Yeah.
I've
tried translating my English material to Chinese. They often don't work.
Doesn't work.
I think what's best and easiest is to just write it from scratch with the logic and mentality from the other world.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you ever do like let's say in English do like jokes about Taiwanese, and then maybe Taiwan in Chinese do jokes about English, like about jokes Americans? About I mean, you know what I mean? Like
people don't care much about America.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I'm just curious. I mean, if that translated back and forth, right?
I would say when it comes to jokes, they like things that are local to Taiwan, both in English and Chinese.
Okay.
I think the audience here has a great appreciation for topical things that are here.
Is there like a go-to topic that always hits, that always kills? I'm
sure when Hungary was around, that was an easy target.
Sure. Yeah. Okay. Sure. That makes sense.
I haven't heard any pork jokes.
Any pork jokes?
That's like so topical. I mean, we don't even know if they're coming in.
Okay, that's
Does that
funny.
affect you guys?
Any what jokes? Sorry?
No, does it like the meat that are coming imported from America?
No, we buy local pork. We use local pork. I mean, we try to use local everything, to be honest.
I'm sure that your customers might ask you as well, though. It's like, oh, where is this source?
To be honest, we are always pushing local food, local beer. All the vegetables we get are from here. The only import stuff we use is like sour cream and
wait, I thought
Haas avocados, but actually we use Taiwanese avocados as well. So we use everything from here,
right?
The pork and all that stuff. Yeah. Actually, the steak comes from New Zealand.
Right. I'm sure people ask about like where's the steak from too.
They do, yeah. They do.
Kwang Niu Zhen from
they used to ask that more because they don't want American beef.
Totally,
they don't want American beef. They want.
So I'm sure. Coming January, people are going to be like, is this pork?
It's possible, but I think for us, we've been doing it for a long time, and I think one good thing is people kind of trust us.
Right.
I think so. We're always using pretty good ingredients. Like we're like using local corn. Like we're grinding local corn. Where everything we use is from here, aside from sour cream, and even like the avocados. You can get a fresh Taiwanese avocado and use that for guacamole, and it's a different taste.
Gosh, I feel like I've said that word wrong my entire life now that you say it that way.
Everybody
guacamole.
Has. Yeah.
Guacamole.
Yeah, so in Spanish is guacamole, right?
Guacamole.
Yeah,
like Guadalajara.
Yeah, Guadalajara.
Oh, okay, it's the same word.
So, guacamole. I never even thought, I didn't even think about that either. But I mean, sometimes when you say to people, "Oh, do you guys want some guacamole today?" and they're just like, "Huh?" I'm like, "Guacamole," and they're just like, "Huh?" I'm like, "Oh, guacamole." And they're just like, "Oh yeah, I'll
guac,
take one.
extra guac.
Yeah, can I get some guac on that?" Yeah,
it's Chipotle's fault.
Yeah, it's like you guys have guac. Yeah, so I'm like, "Hey, we've got guac, no problem." Yeah, no problem.
You're not offended at all by it?
Oh God, it takes a lot. It takes a lot to.
Well, you're probably so used to the American customers here, right?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I'm pretty chill. Like it takes a lot. It takes a lot
to get you frustrated.
Yeah, to get me offended. It takes a lot, especially in this business for 15 years. I've had
probably seen. Yeah, they say like
crazy
restaurant
stuff.
customers are like the worst
because people come in, they're hungry, right?
Oh,
and then if they wait too long, they get hangry, right?
Yeah.
And it's like, I get it, right? So we try to give good food. We try to get it out as fast as we can without compromising but sometimes it's busy, and sometimes you got to be like, look, it's going to be a little bit of a wait. You want to wait, happy to wait. If not, it's on you, whatever you want to do. So it's tough because people want their food now, but they also want like a slow cooked food that's like a good quality food, and you're like, that's kind of like,
you gotta cook it fresh.
Yeah. So if I have a slow cooked food that sits there, it's kind of like, it's kind of crazy, yeah. But it's cool, yeah.
I can't believe I've been saying that word so wrong this entire
Guacamole,
time.
that's all right. Everyone says guac or guacamole.
I know, but I didn't even know there was a right way to say it.
Yeah, that's okay. It's in Spanish. That's what we say.
I know, but
guacamole,
even my Mexican friends has never corrected me.
They never corrected you?
No.
Oh, shame on you Mexican friends.
I know, but they're also like Californians.
They're like,
so they're like,
they're
like
like
to their mom, they'll say it a different way, but to
Yeah.
us, they'll be like guac.
Like, oh my God, like guac. Like totally. Have you tried the guac? Yeah, that's funny.
Oh my God, he's never corrected me. I feel so embarrassed.
Oh gosh, it's all right. No worries. It's all good. Yeah.
And like he was also the only person who told me that, those like
hard shells are not real.
Chipotle bowls.
Okay.
There was like, nobody in Mexico does that. I'm like,
oh gosh.
I'm like, huh?
That's funny. Oh.
Well, this feels so authentic.
but it's similar to like
fortune cookies and whatnot.
Yeah, and like General Tao's chicken and orange chicken or whatever. Which,
I did a lot of research into that.
Okay.
The best story I have is a Taiwanese general.
Okay.
Who used to fight? Yeah, and then he moved to the States, and then maybe to California or no, I don't remember which state.
Okay.
But from then on, he opened a restaurant, and
and
that dish was so good that every other Chinese restaurant started. Yeah.
Okay.
But it was a Taiwanese general. I think he's
cool.
from China. He's from China, immigrated to Taiwan, and then went to the States. And
Well,
his name was Zuo Jiangjun.
Okay, I don't know. Yeah.
Zuo is a more Chinese surname.
Okay. Zuo.
Yeah, like
right.
if I'm not wrong, it's like, well, actually, I don't know how to write it now that you say it. I'm not sure which Zuo. But my mom has a very good friend whose last name is Zuo as well.
I love sometimes the legends and stuff, and I don't know. I some of the old stories are pretty cool. Yeah.
Yeah, but I just felt it's like categorized as Chinese food, but it's like, this person escaped China to Taiwan.
Yeah. Those are funny. Yeah.
Yeah.
There's speaking of that, there's a really funny one up here. Where is it? I don't know. I can't find it. I got too many. Sorry. Yeah. You got a cab quote on here, which is really funny. I like that.
Oh my
one.
God.
That's a good one. Yeah.
So my agent was like, can we have some lifestyle photos of you?
Okay.
And so we took this.
And so you took this here.
Yeah. No. This is in New York City. This is in
I didn't recognize
Midtown
the back.
East.
Okay.
This is on 53rd Street.
Like, hey,
53rd Street in Lexington.
Take a picture.
And yeah, so the photographer wanted me to do this direction because of the lighting from the sun. So a lot of the financial buildings are like glassy and tinty.
Okay.
So they reflect sun off of them.
Sure.
And he was like, this is the angle of the sun that works.
Makes sense.
But it was opposite to the street level.
Cool.
So I was hailing a cab, but the cab's actually behind me.
That's funny. That's a good one. The picture's good. It looks funny. Yeah, I like it. I like it. Yeah.
I just made it into like a silly poster.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah. This is actually before edit, so you can still see his logo.
Yeah, I did see that.
Because this hasn't been edited yet.
Oh, okay.
He was just sending me like
on your page.
I did. I just made it into like a stupid thing. And I was like,
no, it's pretty funny.
I got like just the raw photos and just made it into something silly. Yeah.
I like that. Yeah. Ah, this is what I was looking for earlier. Bam.
Oh
That's
yeah.
funny.
2-3 made this for me.
Did they? Yeah.
They did. Yeah.
I saw your skit on that. It was really good. Yeah.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, it was
Thank
funny.
you.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's the thing. Like, I mean, I wrote all those jokes and I was like, coronavirus is going to be gone in 2 weeks. Once people are done with this racism, it's going to be done. Like, who knew there was going to be so much longevity to these stupid jokes?
Bummer. Yeah.
I was like, corona jokes are going to die in a month, whatever.
Yeah, it's crazy,
I had a fun
right?
time writing them. So like, that's that.
That's cool. Yeah.
But now it's like been a year. So
Has it been that long? Oh my gosh.
I mean, we heard about the virus in February. I mean, in New York. We heard about it in February. I'm sure Taiwan. I remember Taiwan hearing about it in January.
Yeah, Taiwan kind of got on it really quick.
Yeah.
I mean, Taiwan, because I've been here for a long time, but I was here for SARS, right?
Me too.
So Taiwan was kind of like, they messed up a little bit maybe on SARS, and then they're like, we're going to fix that now.
Yeah, that was such a good learning lesson for us.
Yeah, so I think it was cool. I think it was good. I mean, Taiwan's been good.
So we wouldn't have known how to do this so well had we not had that.
Exactly,
right?
yeah. So I think Taiwan learned from that. And I also had... That was a long time ago, though, right? So a lot of people are like, "Oh, you were here for SARS. How was that?" I'm like, I was like 24 or 25. I was like a single guy here. I mean, it affected my life like zero, dude. Like,
I remember my parents made me stay home for 3 months.
Really? Oh my gosh, yeah. My mom was like, "Is everything okay?" I'm like, "Oh, yeah, that's good."
Yeah.
Is everything okay in Thailand? I'm like, "Yeah, Thailand is fine." Yeah.
So I would write that joke in English to do in New York. And like people wouldn't really understand what's funny.
Oh, really? Yeah. Oh, that makes sense. Because
it just still feels like they're just neighboring countries.
Yeah, for sure. They'd be like, yeah, that makes sense.
I mean, for us, right? You're gonna put Uganda next to Kenya.
Yeah, that's true. It's a completely different place. Yeah.
It's just they're all in Africa. Whatever.
I remember a while back. I want to say maybe 10 years ago, there was a big tsunami in
Tokyo.
Japan. Tokyo. Maybe it's 10 years ago. I don't remember. But I was here, and like a month later, my mom calls me, and she's just like,
"Are you flooded?
Is everything okay?" I'm like, "What?" She's like, "Is everything okay?" I'm like, "Yeah." Well, why wouldn't it be okay? She's like, "I saw the news." I'm like, "What news?" And she said, "Oh, I saw the tsunami." I'm like, "That's Japan, Mom."
Yeah.
And she's just like, "But you're not. That's not where you are, right?" I'm like, "No, that's a different country."
I know, but I guess it's like close enough.
Sure. Yeah, that's funny.
You should feel the concern.
It's pretty funny for sure, though. Yeah.
I know.
Do you have? I want to ask you one more thing. Do you have any like comics or comedians that you kind of look up to, or you kind of want to model your career after?
It's really hard to know people's careers because like so much is unspoken.
Okay.
Before they become famous.
Okay. Is there somebody that you kind of, I don't want to say idolize, but somebody that you're like, hey, this is.
It's hard like for me to like really, really know their path because you don't really ever know unless you know them from before they were famous.
Okay.
So like I've read. Like so for example, this year I've read Trevor's book, Ali's book, but then they never really talk about what it's like to like start out.
Okay.
Like their first day of doing it, and then from then on, what did they run into, and then from then on, like.
Okay.
What led them to who they are today? You don't really hear that.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Okay.
And even the comedians I know, I mean, I might have a better idea. But I think it's the hardest thing with this career. It's like the day-to-day crap that you go into.
Okay.
That most people just don't share.
Okay.
Yeah.
That sounds a lot like a restaurant business. It's crazy because people are always like,
I mean, as a woman, you have harassment.
Sure,
then,
of course.
And then there's a racial thing. Then there's so much politics, and it goes into money and negotiation. So many levels of things. And like, of course, I wish like, had I been able to like model after, let's say Ali Wong, because she's also an Asian female.
Sure.
But I'd be like, oh, okay, so this is how. Okay, so she went into this, and then this would happen to her, and then this is how she dealt with it, and then this led to this, and like. But we're not really able to see, and like it's
all
not
that stuff's hidden away.
Right. Like unless I knew her when she was dealing with this back when she was in San Francisco.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's hard to know like their career.
Okay. Sure.
But I will say like. I go through different phases of liking to watch different people's stuff. A lot of people's stuff that I love to watch is...
Do you have any like favorites
I
now?
love Sam Morril.
Okay.
But I have to be like awake because like sometimes the jokes are so intelligent.
Okay.
That I have to... The jokes that I don't really have to be intelligent is always Chappelle.
Oh, I love Chappelle.
I don't have to...
I think everyone loves Chappelle.
I don't have to be awake.
Yeah.
To feel a connection with.
Sometimes
like
I still watch Chappelle shows.
Yeah, I mean, I watch it over and over again, but every time I watch it, there's this deep sense of like connection of having a deep conversation with a friend, and then every so often there's just something so ridiculously funny. Yeah, no, it's
Chappelle is amazing for sure. Yeah, I love that. I love that guy.
Yesterday I was watching this guy. He's a Singaporean comic who tours in Australia, UK. His name's Jinx Yo. He's really funny.
Okay.
I think he should be a star. I don't know why he's not.
Okay.
I think he should be a big star. I think one of the jokes he was like, people have New Year, like, right? Like America, you guys have New Year. For Chinese people, we have Chinese New Year. It's our version of New Year.
Okay.
Because it takes us exactly 1 month to copy it and then make our own copyright on it. And I was like, that's so smart.
That's good. I
like
that. Yeah.
I love that joke. I mean, that's a joke I heard last night on one of his YouTube clips.
There's one Asian comic in the States. I think he's Chinese.
What's
his
his
name's
name?
Ronnie
Chang.
Oh, that guy's funny.
Yeah. He's Chinese Malaysian.
Okay.
And
he's funny.
Yeah, he's on the
him.
Daily Show as well.
Is he? Okay. I mean, I'm not huge into the scene, but there's a few that I like him. He's funny. He's really good. Yeah. He's just like, he doesn't he just kind of like says things so directly, and he's just like,
he's
I didn't know
angry
that.
persona.
And I'm just like, it's so funny. Just his face, and I don't know. It's pretty good.
Yeah.
His math jokes and stuff. It's like, oh, it's so good. Love it. I love that. There's a couple that I really like. Yeah, for sure. So what's the plan for you the next couple years? What do you want to do? What's the goal? You got some stuff going on? Some stuff cooking?
I mean, I sort of know what's going on this month.
Okay. Hey, that's all. What's going on this month? Yeah.
This month I'm doing a show at AIT.
Oh, really? Nice.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I think it's an internal event, unfortunately.
Okay. No.
Otherwise, it'd be so fun to invite people to that.
Sure.
It's gonna be my first time doing a bilingual show.
Okay.
Which is like, it's always so weird.
So that means
right?
you're doing both. You're jumping back and forth.
I'm jumping back and forth.
Okay.
Which could be just potentially a disaster. I have no idea.
Okay.
It might be a disaster.
Okay.
And then I'm doing a charity show.
Nice.
Also in December.
Okay.
It's an organization called Step 30.
Okay.
They donate. They ask people to recycle shoes and send it to Africa.
Okay. Nice.
So, yeah,
that sounds like fun.
For children in Africa for shoes to wear.
Okay. So if somebody wants to catch you, catch a live show from you.
Oh yeah. So this weekend
we
I'm doing a show. This Friday night we're doing a show at 2-3 Comedy.
Okay.
And this Saturday I'm doing a show in Zhongli in Taoyuan.
Zhongli.
I'm doing 30 minutes.
Filipino town. All right.
Really?
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
yeah?
This was like years ago.
I thought now it's like mostly Indonesian.
Well, maybe. Yeah. Maybe. I mean,
know.
this was like 15, 16, 17 years ago. I was on the MRT and this girl started talking to me and I'm like, I was a single guy. I'm like, all right. So we hung out and she was
she lived in Zhongli.
Filipino. Yeah. And Zhongli had like Sunday, like noontime Filipino nightclubs.
Oh
and
my
you go
God.
into like this nightclub. It's like,
during
it's
noon.
all dark and it's just like, everyone's just kind of like, it's like a nightclub, but it's
Wow.
like Sunday at like noon or 1.
Yeah.
And it was like, whoa, what is this world? It's crazy.
It's always time to party.
Yeah. It's like, okay, cool. Yeah. Because everyone, I guess, no one works on Sunday and they're like, let's party on a Sunday. So, oh, wow. Okay, cool. Yeah. Yeah. That's what I remember from Zhongli. Sorry for cutting you off.
No,
it's just
no.
kind of like Zhongli, Filipino town.
Well,
Yeah.
what else is in December? There's a show. There's a Christmas show on the 25th, the night of the 25th.
Okay.
It's with a sketch group here. I'm also doing stand up for them.
Okay.
And I can't remember where that is. But it's a sketch group that works with 2-3 Comedy, and they're doing a show on the 25th night
sounds
of.
good.
Doing stand
All
up
right.
there. I think that's all I remember for now.
No, that's all right. Hey,
Yeah.
so, but actually, in the description, I've got a link to your Facebook page, so
yes.
actually will have all this stuff on there. You
Yeah,
update
yeah.
that all the time.
I usually post it on my story just because.
Okay.
Sometimes people chime in like, "This is like
Oh,
too many
God.
advertisements."
Social media is crazy.
Yeah.
For sure.
So I try to make it a little less evasive.
Okay.
And put it on my story so people
Cool.
who want to follow and want to, really know the updates can look for themselves. Yeah.
Awesome.
But
Yeah.
there's 2 shows this week.
And you're still rocking your own podcast, yeah? And how's that going?
It's good.
It's going good, yeah?
I'm fortunate that because I went on like a really big podcast that I had a lot of like.
Bye, guys. Thank you.
I had a lot of
a
fans
lot of people
from
jump
there.
in. Okay, beautiful.
To listen.
That's good. Excellent.
But it's weird to.
Is it-
I have trouble
okay.
finding people who speak Chinese because I don't know a lot of people that speak Chinese.
Okay. Oh, well, that's
the people
okay,
I
yeah.
know speak Chinese are like, my family, my relatives, and I'm not gonna.
You don't want
get
to podcast
I don't want my mom
mom,
on it. It's
mom on podcast with
like
me.
maybe
Yeah.
she could do one episode, but it's
Okay,
not.
yeah, sure, why not?
It's not a longevity thing.
One thing, actually, that was one of the questions that I wanted to ask you. How's the family with your
My career.
with your career? Yeah, because
I
it's
mean, for
it's
a
not
long
a
time,
traditional career,
yeah,
right?
they didn't really
Yeah?
know about what I did for a very long time, and it's
Okay.
also like hard for them to understand because we work in the. I probably shouldn't say this.
Okay, well,
But-
you don't have to. I'm just curious. Yeah.
We work in the English language learning business.
Okay.
So
okay.
it's a very different career path.
Sure. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, I learned my English there.
Okay.
I'm a product of our
Hey, I mean, it's
of our business.
It's very good. Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
But
yeah.
My sister is sort of taking over because my parents started it.
Time to
so
retire and stuff. Maybe.
Yeah, they're old.
Okay.
But thankfully, my sister is doing it, so I don't have to.
Okay.
Cool. I have less pressure.
Okay,
in comparison to when she had her own career path.
She had her own thing going
It was
on.
very stressful for both of us. It was like, oh, we're gonna die soon. Somebody has to take care of it.
Gosh.
Obviously that Asian guilt. You know.
Okay.
We're gonna die soon, and none of you guys care about what we have,
Yeah.
and nobody wants to do it. We're just gonna sell it. Just sell it to a stranger. Lots of passive aggressive.
Okay, geez, yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah,
we're gonna die and you're not gonna care. It's common, but now that she's taking it, she's been doing it.
So all's good.
It's easier. I mean, it still comes up every so often, but it's not as aggressive as in the past.
Okay, cool.
Yeah,
cool.
And also, they've mellowed down because of age. At least my dad. My dad's mellowed down. I don't think my mom's mellowed down yet.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I think age. I mean, age does that. Definitely does that.
I don't think now that I think back to it, my dad and I have never ever discussed stand-up comedy. Him
Really?
and I. This never.
Let's get him on your show. Yeah, get your pop on there. Yeah.
I don't even know if he knows because we've never
talked about it.
Yeah, or no one's ever brought up this topic that I'm doing stand-up in front of him.
Okay.
I mean, I'm sure he knows, but we've never... I've never said that word in Chinese to him.
Okay.
And he's never said that word in Chinese to me.
Okay. Yeah. That makes sense, I guess. Yeah. I don't even know what the word is in Chinese.
Oh, it's like 脱口秀.
Okay.
But he doesn't have an awareness.
Okay.
I mean, he'll sometimes when I'm in a hurry, I'll be like, hey, can you drive me to Lingshan Beilu?
Okay. He's kind of yeah. What are you doing there? I'm working.
Yeah, I just tell him, I was like, oh, I'll 表演.
Okay.
Yeah, which sounds like pole. God.
Okay.
Sounds like I'm doing pole dance.
Okay.
But he knows I'm an actor and sort of he doesn't.
So he's okay.
I don't think he knows the difference between being an actor and being a comedian. To him, it's all 表演.
Okay.
Yeah. So I don't think he knows what I do.
All right.
I mean, a big portion of my jokes are about him, so it's probably a good thing.
Jesus. Okay.
Very much related. Exactly about him.
Things
jokes, he's done. Things he's said to me, or
Yeah, I think that
family dynamics.
I think a lot of the when you're telling a funny story, I think a lot of it for anyone, maybe not just a stand-up comedian, leans back onto your upbringing, right? I have so many jokes about my dad and my mom and everyone for sure. I think that's maybe not just an Asian thing. I mean, it's just crazy.
It's easy to source out from your own culture. It's the easiest way.
Oh yeah, Mexican moms, crazy. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Cool. That's awesome. I'm glad you came out to come out, and it's nice to finally meet you.
I rarely come to Tianmu these days.
Yeah, it's it's kind of it's far for sure.
It's its own little world.
It really is its own little
universe.
world. It really is, and we have Mexican restaurant and Indian restaurants, and we got a movie theater, and the schools are here, and then it's a pretty cool area.
Yeah, you can totally get by in Tianmu without speaking a bit of Chinese.
Yeah, you definitely can. There's a lot of people that are this way for sure. Yeah. But no, I think it's cool. I'm glad you came out, and it's awesome. I definitely want to come and catch a show. So keep posting.
Yeah, if you want to come this Friday.
Yeah.
I'm sure Sam would love to see you. Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't seen Sam in a long time.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. He's busy now though, right? With the club, he's there.
I'm sure.
Is he there every day?
He tries to take a day off on Thursdays.
Okay.
Sometimes Tuesdays.
Okay.
Yeah.
So one of those days I'll have to go.
I mean, I imagine he's got to be burnt out because the administrative side of things and the booking and then the money part and then the rules and regulations and how should things work. It's got to be a lot. And then plus he teaches during the day, so it's so much. Does he still?
I didn't know that he still did that. Okay, wow.
So that's just you're doing weekend shows and you're planning and then you have meetings, I'm sure, with all the people who have money in it. Yeah, I think it's tough to be a host, right? I would imagine it's tough to be a host. I think it's tough being a host in Taiwan. Well, for me, because I'm used to hosting in the States. Okay. And it's just a different style. Because I just remember, I mean, we had the 2-3 comedy here a few times, and there was a couple times where the comic was kind of bombing, and then when they went off, Sam has to go back and kind of pick the crowd back up again, and exactly. And it was a few times. Yeah, you got to bring them back to the world. It's hard. It's definitely tough. That's the host job. Like you have a comic bomb. This is a host job.
Yeah.
To pick up.
Yeah, it's definitely tough. I could see. I was like, damn, that's tough.
And it's hard.
Yeah,
because sometimes they don't feel like it anymore. Because like, how do you change an awkward situation to a laughy one again?
It's
like,
tough.
It takes work.
I remember one of the comics, they bombed, and then they switched to the next guy, and the first thing the new guy says is, "Geez, don't worry, my show won't be as bad as that guy's, right?" And then it was way worse, and I was
God, jeez.
I was like, and then I was kind of like, oh my gosh,
that just happened.
Then I'm getting nervous because it's like my place, and people are like,
see, like the customers are also uncomfortable.
Yeah, but me too,
because they have to sit through it.
Yeah, as like the venue owner is like, no, I'm like nervous. I'm like looking at Sam. I'm like,
exactly.
Should we go sing a karaoke or something? What should we do? Like, what's going on here?
Yeah.
I'm like, my heart's like pounding. Like,
the host has to like,
what are we doing? Yeah. And then he comes in, he's like,
stand-up comedy,
and he tells a joke, a 7-Eleven joke or something, and then he's just
God.
like, he's funny. Yeah, he's good. I like Sam. He's very good. Yeah.
You'll probably catch the 7-Eleven jokes again this Friday if you want to come.
Okay. Yeah, it's possible for sure. Yeah.
It depends on what he wants to say.
Yeah. Very cool. Well, I'm glad that you came. And if you have anything else you want to say before we split, it was nice to finally meet you.
Yeah.
I've been cyber stalking you for a little while to make sure I could get the photo. I didn't even show all the photos.
Oh, do you want to finish them?
Blast through the photos?
Sure.
Here? Boom. What you got? We did that one. Boom.
Oh, this was a Wu-Tang. I don't know if Taiwan's big on
of course, I know Wu-Tang. Of course,
the rap group. Yeah, this is their show. This is a show about them.
Nothing to fuck with, right?
This is they shot in Staten Island with all the original spots.
Really?
Where they grew up, and
that's pretty.
The stuff they talk about in their raps, like the ice cream shop they were at,
really,
or even like their music videos. They went back to original spots to capture these places.
Very cool.
It was quite.
Did not know that.
Quote unquote authentic.
Very cool. Boom.
Oh yeah, this is a show that we done in Staten Island.
Yeah, good.
They're still doing it this year. And then they did the show live too, and I was like, oh god.
Yeah, that's
they did
tough.
It 2 months ago.
Beans and lager.
This is out in Astoria.
Okay.
Just another. The headliner was Greek, so he chose Astoria. It's a very Greek area.
Oh really? Okay.
Yeah.
Boom. Oh, we did that one.
Mm-hmm. Oh man, this was up in West, like it's like close to Westchester.
Okay.
I can't remember the name now, but it starts with a P. It's like a town above New York. But what's crazy about this place is like we got paid pretty well.
Okay.
But
that's nice.
On the way back, we weren't given a ride, so we had to all share an Uber. And the Uber was so expensive. We paid like half our salary into the Uber ride. That's funny. That's very New York.
That's hilarious.
It's snowing. It was really cold.
Oh shoot.
It's freezing.
Yeah. Oh, that's a good picture.
Is it?
I think. Come on, that's a great picture.
I was touring in Malaysia, and one of the Malaysian comics is really into photography.
Okay, that's a great picture for sure.
So like, this is just outside. This is right next to one of the comedy clubs.
Okay.
And they just had trees.
Okay, and you're like, let's take a picture.
I think this is close to.
I think it's a great picture.
Was it? Oh, this is close to Crack House.
Crack House.
Yeah. So the two competing ones out in Kuala Lumpur is a Joke Factory and Crack House.
Okay.
And
interesting name.
Yeah.
Sure. All right.
Crack House Comedy.
Very cool. Shout out to them.
This is Broadway Comedy Club in Hell's Kitchen, west of Manhattan. It's a very touristy place.
Very cool.
Yeah. Also shut down at the moment.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So this is when I did a festival out in D.C.
Okay.
Washington, D.C. This is I think it's called the D.C. Comedy Fest. Yeah.
Okay. Very cool.
And so it's pretty fun because like in one night I could do like 7 shows.
Okay. And how is that?
I love the DC crowd.
Good to just keep rolling?
The weird thing about DC is like I've never seen a movie talk about segregation and integration. Like this is a scene that I would never see in New York. Like I would see a table of friends, and I would see 3 different colors of best friends watching a comedy show, which is non-existent in New York.
Really?
Like you'd see like maybe you'd see like a mixed race couple, but then you'll see like this group of friends are all a certain color. This group of friends are probably work friends. This group of friends, you can see like what kind of group they are, and it's quite like everyone is melted and squeezed together in this big city, but to a certain sense, we're still separate. Yeah, like we have like different parts of New York that are different to racial groups, you know?
Sure.
And the thing with DC is like,
DC's not like that.
like I remember like the day after I went to brunch with a childhood pen pal of mine.
Okay.
And every table I saw consisted of different colors.
That's pretty cool. Yeah.
Which is like so insane for me to see.
Yeah.
It was like very mind blowing, and that's what I really loved about DC.
That's very cool. Very cool. Ooh, is this karaoke or is it a show?
No. So this is a show where like I was so stressed out about the show because in the middle of your set they would start playing a song that you don't know, and then you would have to sing to it.
Oh, what? Okay. That's
yeah, and like mine was like a rap, and I had no idea how to sing it, so I like made my friend come on stage and help me out.
That's a good one. All right. Very cool. That's a good picture. I like that. And he's killing it apparently.
Oh no, he totally.
This
is like his
That's
anthem.
his jam.
Yeah, this is his jam.
Okay, it looks like it's his jam. Yeah.
I'm like, I don't know the song. Help me out.
Very cool.
Yeah.
All right, what do we got here? We got a dual picture up in here.
This is pilot season from 2 years ago.
Okay. And these are two different studios, obviously, right?
One's a theatrical studio. One is headquarters of Fox.
Okay.
Which is so unfortunate. Like Fox got merged with Disney, so I don't even know if they do much casting anymore. But I love their casting office. They had like some of the most incredible scripts that they produce. They have this new show coming out called Next. It's one of the best scripts I've read.
Really?
Oh God! If you look up Next trailer,
okay, I'll check
and
it out.
it should have been out in 2020, but I'm not sure if things got changed because of COVID.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm pretty sure that photo I took is an audition for that, because they kept calling me in for different characters in that show.
Okay, that's cool.
And it was such an incredible show. I remember when I read that script, I had to open my door at my studio door to my neighbor's hallway. So like if you think of it like an apartment, I had to open my door because the script, it wasn't scary, but there's so much suspense. I was so scared.
Really?
And I remember I read to the very last page of the pilot and I screamed. And then like at 2 a.m. I finally finished reading and I was like, yeah! But it was so good. It was such a well-written script.
Well, that's cool.
Yeah,
Very
loved it.
Is New York like the stereotype that they have in the movies where like somebody will be like, hey, I finally made it to New York, and somebody will be like, hey, shut the fuck up.
Yeah,
is it really like that?
No, for sure. If you walk too slow, people yell at you.
Really?
I mean, I've yelled at a few tourists who are just like...
Okay. I've seen so many like little 10-second videos
does
of
such crazy things in New York.
It's
like
funny. Well, because
some
New
days
York
it's just like, oh my God, have some sense, man.
If you can make it there, you can make it anywhere. They say
for sure.
Right? Yeah.
I mean, we're not mean; we're just pragmatic.
Okay, no, I was wondering if that was actually a true thing.
Oh yeah, so this is
that like a jail sort of deal outfit, like a prison outfit, or no?
Yeah, so this is like a, how should I say? This show is about like a group of friends who play games.
Okay.
And every time they play a game, they're sort of playing board games, but when they start actually playing it, the characters fall into that world.
Okay.
As that. So
pretty
I don't
cool.
remember which game this is for us to go into prison.
Pretty cool.
I don't remember. It's like 2016, I think. It's been a while.
Beauty. Couple more and we're good to go.
Yeah.
Boom.
Oh, I did a musical here. This is like one of the development. Oh, there are a couple of Broadway actors here. The guy who's right behind me wearing the white T-shirt, he was one of the leads in Kinky Boots.
Okay.
I mean, they all have so many credits.
Beauty.
I think that guy used to be in Phantom for a long time.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Very cool. All right, last one.
Everyone's so talented. Fuck.
What's that? Sorry?
Everyone is always... Like, every person you run into has such a huge resume.
Okay, that's cool.
Like, everyone you offend at a restaurant has probably done so much.
That's crazy. Last one.
Oh, that was my first residual check.
Yeah. What was this? What was this about? Was it for one of the shows you did? Or?
Oh, yes. This was a check for Succession.
Okay.
So I shot one of the first couple episodes of Succession, and when we shot it, we're like, "What is this? Another British show? It's not gonna last."
Okay.
And then Succession won a ton of Emmys, and because they were picked up by so many different platforms, even till now, I get residual checks from that one job.
Fantastic! Wow.
So this is this is one of the
residual income.
Yeah,
Very
so
cool.
It's like kind of cool that
is very
I
cool.
don't have to work and this check just comes into my inbox and it gets me really excited.
It's everybody's dream.
So I took a picture of it and I'm like, yay!
That's a cool one. And the
Yeah.
American flag.
That was just.
That's a great picture.
That was
I had to
just
throw it on there. Yeah.
when I got back to Taiwan, they're like, "Oh, none of your photographs look like you." Because
what?
again,
Okay.
they're looking for that clean look.
Oh shoot! Okay.
And they're
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
"Well, your photographs look too Euro-American centric." They're like, "Oh, 好欧美哦，太欧美了."
Okay.
So a friend of mine who's like an amateur photographer,
Okay.
we just went on the streets, and this is actually,
It's actually a great picture.
if I'm not wrong, this is like the fire department at one of the corners, and for some reason,
They had an American flag.
they had an American flag, and she was like,
Okay.
"Why don't you stand next to it?" And she told me to do this pose. I'm like, "You're gonna kill me! I cannot do this pose. This is so not me."
Okay.
She was like, "But Taiwanese people want it, so
It's
do
a good
it."
picture, I have to say. Yeah. And
I was like,
yeah.
"No, kill me! I can't do this. This is so like, I can't."
Okay.
But she was like, "Do it!" So I
Do
did.
it.
I did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Yep.
And that's all the pictures we got. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. So I did a little bit of research, and I'm happy that you
Yeah.
came out. I'm glad. I'd like to catch a live show because I saw a lot of your clips, and
Oh, thank
they're
you.
great. Yeah.
I think the Friday show you came for some reason it was really rough. Oh, I know what happened.
It was a couple.
Night it was there was a really big concert event happening at Maji Square.
Yeah.
It's called Fuck 2020.
Fuck 2020, yeah,
and it was
yeah,
like a
yeah.
huge
That's what
like
happened.
it was like a 5-hour long concert.
Yeah, I
and
know
it was
a lot of guys that
crazy.
played,
Like everybody
yeah.
went there, and so we didn't really have a huge turnout.
Yeah,
because
yeah.
so many people went to that.
Okay. No, I
Yeah.
actually wasn't going to come out like I was saying, but
Yeah.
I mean, Matt, it's like my last thing.
So
I'm
we
like,
tried
all
so
right, let's go.
hard to like get people,
Yeah.
but it was hard.
I think I seen you sitting at the door, right? But I was like, I don't know if that's her. I'm not going to
Oh,
talk to her.
at the comedy
Yeah,
club?
yeah.
Oh, yeah,
Because
yeah.
I was like, I think
It's a
that's
small
her,
space.
but I'm not going
Wouldn't
to.
it be hilarious if you recognize the wrong Taiwanese person?
Yeah, well, it's just like you talk to
Oh,
somebody,
all
they'd be like,
Taiwanese look
yeah.
the same.
No, it's not. I've been here for so long. I don't feel that way anymore. But I mean, like you know how it is when you go
Yeah.
talk to a girl at the bar and they'll be like,
Yeah.
yeah, sure.
No, yeah.
Like,
No, it's like usually when I wear glasses, people recognize me
Okay.
because from that one video.
Okay.
And
Oh,
when I
okay.
don't wear glasses,
okay.
then like nobody recognizes me.
You know, like for example, the podcast. Like we get lots of different guests, like entrepreneurs and restaurateurs, and just like MMA fighters, like a pretty good mix. And obviously, it's easy to get a man. Like for me, like
Is it?
oh my gosh, like for me, when I
interesting.
message a girl, it's like, yeah, I'm like, hey, you
interesting.
found some cool thing and come on the podcast. It's like most, I don't know if they probably just get blasted with like pictures from dudes or whatever. I don't
Like
know,
dick
but
pics?
it's just like
okay, I
you
need
just-
to share this.
Yeah.
My AirDrop is always on.
Okay.
Just because of settings, just whatever. It's always
Okay.
on for convenient purposes, and it's
Okay.
always like open to everyone.
Okay.
Never in my life have I received a dick pic.
Okay.
I'm very offended.
You're offended.
No one has ever sent me one. I've been on all sorts of public transportation.
And nobody.
I mean, I've taken the subway for years.
Okay.
No one's ever bothered to send Esther's iPhone a dick pic.
Well, we will. I guess somebody's going to have to fix that over here in Taiwan.
I mean, now
maybe,
no
yeah.
one's taking the subway in New York, but
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Yeah.
but
yeah.
back in the good old days,
good old days. Yeah, that's funny.
no one's airdropping
That
one.
is good info to have, right? Yeah. Well, finally. It's nice to chat with you. Thanks for coming. I
Yeah, thanks for
appreciate
having
it.
me.
And hopefully, I'll come out this Friday. If not, I'll definitely catch you in a show. If anyone
Yeah.
wants to catch your shows, it's on your Facebook, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
and my Instagram.
Beautiful.
Both.
Thank you guys for checking out the show, and we'll see you guys next time. Bye bye.